Good evening and welcome everyone to the Championship Review. I'm your host, Carl Levy, as usual. We've got so much games to talk about, only 8 games due to a couple of games was postponed today as well. So I got the three stooges right next to me, Stephen Tate, Michael Barras, and also Annie. Good evening to you, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Not doing too bad. You keeping well?
Not too bad, not too bad. I'm glad I got some time off now from work for the rest of the week, so I'm on my annual leave. So, yeah.
Good way to start the new year for you then.
Bloody needed to actually as well, yeah. So I both needed, especially.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Annie doing all right? Apart from Bristol City,
forget
it's
that.
I don't know what football you're on about, and also I'm ill.
I've come back from the football and I'm under the weather significantly. So let's hope I can make it through however many hours of this show. But apart from that,
I don't think it's going to be that long tonight, especially the amount of games that we have. So,
but yeah, apart from that, not doing too badly. No.
We get through the first 30 minutes, and then we go, so Annie, Bristol City, Preston, and then Annie goes, right, I wasn't going to talk about the football then, but for goodness sake, and then he goes on about half an hour rant and go, this is why we are effing terrible.
We'll get to that stage. We'll get to that stage later. Let's not spoil it for the viewers right now. Come on, Michael.
Yeah, right. Well, where do we start there? Since there was not much, some cool games postponed. Unfortunately, 3 games were postponed today. Sheffield United against Oxford United. Watford's trip to Hull City game was postponed, and Portsmouth against Ipswich Town was also postponed. So, yeah, those fixtures will be rearranged at another time, and hopefully, during the course of the season. So,
Carl, can we just talk about Watford Hull?
Yeah,
Hull, Watford. 15 minutes before kickoff.
I know. That's
really 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you seeing
Yeah.
15 minutes before? I mean, it's an absolute.
That's awful.
It's an absolute joke.
Yeah, because I saw them got the blowtorch out. I've tried to get to try and get to try and melt the ice, but to leave it to 15 minutes before the kickoff is disgraceful.
Exactly. I feel for those Watford fans who I'm sure would have spent hundreds of pounds to get up from Watford to Hull. I mean, it's a 4-hour journey, something like that. It's a long old trek. So I feel for those Watford fans, really do. I mean,
so do I. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they will get recouped back from the club, especially a lot of money for that as well. So especially you've travelled all the way after New Year's.
Yeah, and can I just say, League Two, all of the games were postponed apart from the ones that were on Sky, which I think
So here's what I found out, right? So the EFL's got a thing, the EFL fund. So if the game's live on TV, they have like this like a big square overhood, to covers to warm the pitch, or if the game's live on Sky. So that will go ahead. But when it's non-Sky games, that gets postponed.
Ooh, totally nothing to do with money.
Yeah. It's nothing to see here, guys. Let's move on. Nothing to see here. Our pyramid isn't broken at all. Let's move on.
No, absolutely not. Just go. Oh no, sorry. Are you on Sky? Are you on Sky Sports? Oh, you want to postpone the pitch? No, tough luck. Go break a leg. You have to ruin the Sky cameras and the Sky coverage and the EFL deal. No, definitely not.
I know. You spent £1 billion over 5 years. You can't even though you're supposed to give money to help to get the pitch sorted out. Bloody hell, man.
Mental.
Yeah, I bet that will change if it became a global rights TV deal in the next few years, as what projects is going to be, and then you can't cancel all the games. So,
could you imagine what would happen if, say, I don't think this would happen because it would be in May, but imagine if the weather was this bad for around the time of the Championship playoff final, and there was genuine talk about it getting postponed. You go, nah, game's too big. We'll just have the players play on like a icy 3G pitch or something, or basically what it looks like, just to decide a £220 million game.
And it's on Sky, so we'll have one of the hoods covering the pitch anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. Oh no, Sky Sports. Nah, sorry, can't cancel it.
Yeah,
it's not your hard rock surface. Nah, just play on it.
I wonder if it's the same if the games are on BT, because I know for this season, it's not this weekend, but next weekend, FA Cup starts, and so does the Scottish Cup. So I wonder, for all the games that are on BT, if there's any bad weather, whether the same rules apply as Sky.
No, it doesn't. Not for the cup competition. Because only for the EFL teams that are on Sky, not for
Well, I was going to say, Wrexham and Leeds' games are both on TV in the FA Cup, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, Wrexham Nottingham Forest is on the Friday evening.
And then Leeds Derby on Sunday.
BT.
Yeah.
How freaky is that? One of you are playing Nottingham Forest and the other one's playing Derby County.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right, let's get down to some business then, actually, since we've had a lot of games over the festive period. Do you know, let's start the game of the day, actually. And I have to say, what a win for Birmingham City, winning 3-2 against Coventry City. Marvin Dux scored his first goal. He scored 5 goals in the 80 period since he joined Birmingham. The first goal was actually a good touch as well, to take the lead after.
Amazing.
Actually, and then Lewis Kumas, the son of Jason Kumas, with that technique of how his dad used to play, going past the keeper and scoring for the second goal. And then, Josh Eccles and Ellis Simmons were the goals for Coventry City. But good win, guys, for Birmingham City. They've been a bit under pressure. Chris Davis, he's been under a lot of pressure. And Michael, that was a win that Birmingham City really needed, especially there's been some big expectations for the club.
Yeah, given where they've been tipped to be. I mean, I think it's personally a bit harsh in my opinion that Chris Davis is going to be under pressure. But if they're really wanting to be in the playoffs, then I do kind of understand it, because you want to be. They view that they should be trying to compete to get promoted to the Premier League. So, guys, you have to bear in mind as well, because obviously the EFL highlight show has not come out yet. So I've literally just relied on Sky Sports highlights packages for this. But obviously this game I did watch, and Dux's first goal. I mean, and we've got to give credit to the cross as well, going into it as well, because obviously you've got a lot of distance to aim the cross and have the cross travel across the 6-yard box to get the Ducks in the first place. But then obviously I've just seen Eccles, who got the equaliser, the first equaliser rather, scored, what was it, within 2 minutes of Birmingham's first goal. So it always seemed to me, it seemed to me that it was all just either a period where everything happens in 10 minutes and then nothing happens for a while, then everything happens in another 10 minutes and then nothing happens again. But fair play, then obviously Ducks got this. Did Ducks get the second one?
Yeah.
So obviously from a Coventry point of view,
Kumas got the second one. Lewis Kumas.
Sorry, I must quickly say this. Who was whose shirt was Josh Eccles holding up when he scored after he scored?
Alan's.
Yes, I thought so. Just got to highlight that sign of respect, which is obviously what we want to see. But the second Birmingham goal, Ducks obviously he's got composure to finish past Carl Rushworth, but it's obviously not great from a Coventry point of view, the defensive side of things. But Birmingham away, I've always said, should be a really tough place to go. Actually, very quickly as well, just while I've got not pretend I've not got the goals next to me right now, but I want to say I love Patrick Roberts' vision for the. I think it was Patrick Roberts who assisted the second one.
Yeah.
So obviously it's good to see that Roberts has actually got himself a club where he's going to be playing regularly, because he wouldn't have with us this season in the Prem. But,
I think Guy Wagner, who just made his debut after making the big move from Philadelphia in the MLS, who set that first goal, which was tremendous, actually.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, Ellis Sims gets a goal at the start of the second half for Coventry. And I think had they got a point, I think for Coventry, that's a good result, in my opinion. Away at St Andrews, it would have been a very solid one. And there's no great shakes in losing to Birmingham away, because I think a lot of clubs will. I mean, I watched them when they played Ipswich, for example, and they absolutely battered them, albeit it was the opening game of the season. But you're right. I think Birmingham almost certainly did need that if they were wanting to keep in touching distance of the playoffs. And I'm not going to go as far, and as for Coventry, from a Coventry persuasion, I'm not going to go down the route of it's a blip, because I think, is it 3 games now they haven't won?
Yeah, they've only won 2 of the past.
For context, though, the 2 games they've lost are against Ipswich and Birmingham away. So I think that Charlton, if there's going to be any result of the last 3 that would disappoint them, it's Charlton for me, more so than either of the 2 defeats. But I'm not worried. I don't think anyone who's sane enough will be worried about Coventry, I think. And just quickly, on the Coventry point of view, they look like they could be getting, is it Roman Esse on loan from Palace?
Yeah.
Which, tell you what, that's the type of signings that you make when you're up there. And I think we know how much of a name Frank Lampard will be, how much he can help Coventry attract players. But at the same time, Coventry are still in a very, very strong position. And I don't think there's anything really to worry about. Birmingham away is not the easiest fixture.
No, absolutely not. It's not easy to fix. And also with Coventry, we're going down to 10 men, and as well towards the end of the game
Bobby
as
Thomas,
well. Yeah, that was a bit of a, they just imploded. But Thomas was swinging left hand at Christoph Newman, which he didn't need to do. So
Well, if you get with the suspension, they'll probably go, oh no, he'll miss Eddie. FA Cup game away at Stoke. How will they cope? You know, I think if you're going to have any game, I don't know if it's a 1-game suspension or a 2 or a 3-game one.
It'll be a 3-game because actually it was a straight red card.
Right, scrap everything I've just said then. But never mind. Well, okay, obviously not entirely. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be bothered about the Stoke Cup game next week. But yeah, I think, like I said, I don't think... actually, saying that, I've just realised, you know who Coventry's next league game is against? Leicester.
Leicester, yeah.
Leicester at the CBS. So... this is where Annie's going to go up the carve, and Ant's going to be going like up into you 6-fingered mutants and everything, and all this other stuff that
inbred mutants, yeah, all that, yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be great fun to try and watch that. I wonder if Annie's just going to sneakily go on the home end, and I'm just going to go, Annie, if you're going to go to that game, please get as close to the away end as possible and try and spot Ant.
Yeah, get as close as you can.
He claims he's got a social life. That cannot. I think he's going, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going.
So his social life will be Coventry City versus Leicester City. So yes, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, he'll definitely be going. Yeah, he's definitely going with that one because, especially he started back his job this week coming. And so I'm thinking, did he not message us in the group chat saying he was drunk and he was drunk the night before and he's like Jim? And I sent it to Stefan before we got on. Right, he's got guts. I give him that. I don't think I would have got in. So.
No, do you know what? I love the fact when he gets all drunk and he just goes very soppy, doesn't he? He goes, I may be drunk, but I love you guys. And I'm like, good to know I love you too, mate. But yeah, sorry, but my fault for going on about a 2-minute tangent about Ant's social life and how Leicester are playing Coventry.
We do that all the time now. Yeah. I think it's part of our personal joke, our personal banter now. So
I don't think he'll be too bothered. I think, I don't think Stefan's seen this, but basically, Stefan, there's a picture of when Coventry played Sunderland at the CBS, not the playoff game, the league game, and Ant was there with us. And he actually got a Sunderland scarf and put it around him, so he's just standing in the way and going.
That's why he's on loan to Sunderland then. Uh-huh.
Yes, that would explain. Yeah, that would explain it.
Right, okay.
And all that nonsense, but yes, but no, I think from Coventry, Bobby Thomas, I think missing him for a game that big against Leicester is not ideal. But like I've said, I know what you guys say. I think Coventry are going to be probably one of the busiest, most active teams in the window. Not necessarily in terms of signing loads and loads of players, but get the quality there while they are still a fair few points clear at the top of the division. Because this is you're recruiting from a position of strength, aren't you? When you go in. I mean, how many points are they above Borough? I mean, I know obviously Ipswich didn't.
5 now, I think it is.
5 now. Yeah.
6. Sorry, there's 6 points above. Well, okay. Let's be honest. It's 6 officially, but effectively it's 7 because the goal difference is far superior to pretty much everybody else. So yeah, I'm not worried about Coventry. I think it's there was always going to be a little dip of form for them, but I think in fairness, when you played Ipswich, who are one of the fancy teams of the division, and I still think will be the team that goes up with Coventry automatically. Although it was a great win for Borough today, actually. But I think that you've lost to them. Sorry, this always happens. I always get calls whenever I'm on here. But anyway, no, this is so disorganized, isn't it? But yeah, no, I'm not worried about Coventry, and I'm actually keen to see what Frank Lampard does for them in the window as well.
I think, as you say, Michael, we're going to be the busiest championship team in the window, and I think second busiest will be Borough and Ipswich. I'll just go in chronological order if you're at the top of the table, because you want to try and make the next step up to the league with the big boys and 30 games a season rather than 46. So sometimes past 50 games if you have a run in the cup competitions as well. So,
here's another thing, right?
Long old season.
Here's another thing, right? If you look at it from a Coventry point of view, though, even despite these last few games, they're exactly on 2 points per game.
Yeah,
which 52 points, 26 games, that is 2 points per game. And I've said before that I think if you're Coventry, and probably this applies to Ipswich or Borough, to be fair, I would say that 90 points, maybe even a little bit less than that, is probably what would be needed to get automatics. I think 90 points is a good tally to aim for. So if you look at it as Coventry need 38 points in 20 games, I don't think that's unreasonable to think that they can do that.
No,
especially with the right recruitment.
And as we've been saying over the last few weeks, Coventry are well over the halfway mark to get to that points tally quicker than anybody else.
Yeah.
Very quickly, by the way, I'll just mention for Birmingham, apparently there's rumours they could be making the Patrick Roberts loan deal from Sunderland permanent? And if so, I just want to say he goes with me best wishes, because we had to be ruthless when going up to the Premier League about who was going to make the step up. But there's no doubt in my mind, Patrick Roberts, I will not forget what he's done for us in recent years when he came in when we were stuck in League One. Obviously played a critical part of us going from the Championship to the Premier League. So best of luck to Patrick Roberts if he goes to Birmingham. I hope he smashes it.
Absolutely, yeah, as well. Especially, like I say,
he goes permanently. He's obviously already there now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on to the game at Lost Road. What a brace from Ryan Coley, who came off the bench to score his first championship goals of the season. QPR beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 as well. Roman Burrow scored his 10th goal for QPR since he moved from the club to Burton Albion in the summer. And Stefan, it was a convincing win for QPR. They had so many chances in the game, but Coley coming off the bench, that first goal he scored, it was a wild cracker as well. And then the second to finish the game off.
The first goal was a cracker from Coley. The build up for the second one, the angle he took it was just amazing. I mean, we all know what's happening with Sheffield Wednesday. Unfortunately, even though you've got the new owner coming in, nothing's going to change this season. You're already down. You're already preparing for life in the third tier of English football, hoping to bounce back straight away. But it just seemed quite a routine victory, if that makes sense. I mean, not to take anything away from Sheffield Wednesday, we did try, but obviously just routine for teams at the minute who are playing against Sheff Wed, just to more than likely come away with 3 points. It is a shame that it wasn't a more competitive game from what I've seen on the little mini highlights. So I've just sort of watched, but it was a great 3 points for QPR.
Yeah, absolutely. As well. If anyone who's watching us, please get involved in the chat. We'll discuss all your questions and then reviews if you went to the game, what the games today. And Annie, as for QPR as well, they're still not too far from the table. At the moment, only about 3 points behind the playoff spot. Can they have a good run and get some good do well in the low market in the January if Junior Stefan gets pretty much everything right with a good run of form?
Yeah, been rumours of Ronnie Edwards, which I think would be a nice addition to that back line. Obviously, it was there last season, wasn't he, Ronnie Edwards? So, yeah, I mean, they're a good team going forward, and we know they've got the quality in their attacking in those attacking positions. Poku hasn't quite clicked yet. Sato the same, but Burrell's been outstanding. He scored another goal, and if you can get Ryan Coley firing as well, and you've got Kadi Dembele and Kieran Morgan, you have some really good attacking players there. And if Stefan can use it, you never know. QPR might just go on a run purely because of the power they have going forward. They don't need to be fantastic defensively. So there's a lot of traffic. I think they're a good team. I do. I think they're a good team. But it's going to take some effort for them to get into the playoffs. But I'm certainly not ruling anything out now.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Good win for the QPR. So let's move on to the next game. And Marissa Badji scored twice as Black Mirrors came from 2-0 down to deserve a draw with Charlton Athletic at Ewood Park. Charlie Kelman scored 2 goals in the first 6 minutes, second from the penalty spot as well. And after the first goal, he put the visitors in the first half. But Blackburn responded through Badji's first goal for the club to make it 2-1 at the break. And then the first win drew level in the 77th minute. Michael, that was disappointing. 3 points dropped for Charlton. But do you give credit to Blackburn for responding before halftime?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Blackburn. I mean, there was quite a few boos actually, a really good few boos when Kelman's penalty went in. Although I think it might have been down to the fact that Kelman's celebrations, I think, might have annoyed their fans a little bit because he was a little bit animated when he did score. But I think, having said all of that, I think it's going to be. I think it's Blackburn are relieved not to have lost it. Put it that way. I think they're relieved not to have lost, and I think in the end, I don't think that's the worst point in the world for Charlton, even though they were 2-0 up, because I think it's away from home. I think you need to. I mean, what I've said before, the target you need to stay up, you're probably talking 50 points, maybe, something like that. Maybe even a bit less. It depends entirely. I mean, thankfully for Charlton and for Blackburn, obviously Oxford were postponed, but they probably would have, when they play Sheffield United, I'd be surprised if they get anything there. And obviously Norwich lost as well, so it's not the end of the world, really. So I think it was important for both of them just to get something. But you got to give credit to Blackburn for sticking at it, 2-0 down to come back and get a point. I think that it's a point that neither team will feel too delighted with, but I don't think will be too disastrous for either club, really, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not too disastrous as well. But as I said, a good point for Blackburn, especially, like I said, Michael, they were booing by half time for that performance, but
yeah,
good recovery for them as well. Let's move on to one of the other teams in the top two. Middlesbrough, they beat Southampton 4-0.
What a result that is, by the way.
Absolutely good result.
Class result.
Absolutely. Morton Rodriguez scored 2 goals in the game. He scored 10 goals in the past 70 games for Borough as well. Sam Silvera goal in between as well, and Alan Brown added the 4th. Borough took advantage of Ipswich Town's game away to Portsmouth for Spawn. And I have to say, guys, a really good performance from Borough, which they had a bit of a blip, the last couple of games, but that was a response they need to win before they play the FA Cup this next weekend.
Yeah, I think we needed that to bounce back into the top 2 for a start. But we needed it just to give themselves a bit of renewed confidence going into this second half of the season, because they've totally stormed the first half. Yeah, every team's going to have a blip at some time. And I'm very glad they've got it out the way now, because today's performance was a performance of intent from Middlesbrough. I mean, take nothing away from Southampton. They did try and play, but Middlesbrough were just too strong, and they'll be happy because they're back in the top 2 in the Championship promotion race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on, Michael. Whittaker, by the way, fair play to him for turning this around, because that move was met with a lot of criticism, I guess, for the way that when he left Plymouth to go to Borough, and now I've just looked here, he's in double figures for goals now, and 3 assists on top of that. Just fair play to, first of all, you've got to give to Rob Edwards and Kim Helberg for managing him really well, but great on him. Good to see he's doing all right. Sorry, Carl, I had to get that in there.
No, absolutely.
Just thought that as well, it would not surprise me if a Premier League team came in for Morgan within the next season or next couple of seasons, or maybe even in this window. Who knows what could happen?
Yes.
It's January. And if he's performing well at Middlesbrough, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody like a Leeds, a Sunderland, a Wolves, I don't know, a Burnley or something like that came in, took him for this season, he played there, and then he got him moved to an even bigger club high up the table.
Well, it's a good. I think with Middlesbrough they will say a hands-off policy because they're in the promotion race. I just don't think for them. I think for them they need to keep him during the course of the season, regardless where they are. And if Middlesbrough do get promoted, if per se they do, I think there's gonna be. I think there won't be anyone trying to get him if they're in the Premier League club. But if they don't get promoted, I can see a couple of Premier League clubs. Depends who stays up. We'll look at him, and especially if it be Lee's case or Sunderland's case for that matter. Yeah, but if you're Burnley and West Ham, no, because like I said, those teams are going to go down anyway. So it's
Morgan Whittaker wouldn't. I imagine if Morgan Whittaker went to say Burnley or a Wolves, for example, even though obviously Wolves smashed West Ham yesterday, a result that I imagine Carl was very gutted about, of course. But either way, I think that for either of them. For those two, I think it's likely they're going to go down anyway. And I think if you're Morgan Whittaker, the only case I could maybe see him being attracted by Wolves is because of Rob Edwards. And he was the one who started his sort of revival, I guess. But I think it's a mistake for him to leave Borough this window. And I don't think he would.
I'm not saying he would leave this window, but maybe within a season or two.
In the summer, it could be different, to be fair, Stefan. Yeah. I could see him going in the summer, to be fair.
By some intervention, if Middlesbrough don't get promoted automatically and they don't come through the playoffs, maybe even a team like a Newcastle or Aston Villa might come in, because let's be honest, Villa came in for Morgan Rogers from Middlesbrough at the time, and he's now flourishing under Unai Emery and co.
And he's probably the first name on the Thomas Tuchel now under England as well, took out on his years.
Exactly. So it just shows, even if you start off in the Championship, it can lead to international call-ups.
Yeah.
Just out of interest as well, though, I think if you look at the fee that, what was it, £5 million, I think, that Borough paid, it looks like a really cheap deal now. And actually, it's good forward planning because at that point, they still, I think he was injured, but they still had Ben Doak, if memory serves me right, last season when Whittaker was signed. So they would have looked at it as, we have to get him in while he's available, and we can get him to then go, all right, if Doak will obviously not go back to Borough following season. Whittaker's already there, and it gives him a bit of time to acclimatise to the area. It gives him a time to sort of get used to things. So I think you've got to credit the recruitment. You've got to credit the recruitment team at Borough for that.
Yeah, you do.
Sign over now.
Aye, absolutely.
On Southampton, just quickly, they're 15th in the league.
Yeah, it's not good.
They don't look. Well, they don't look anywhere near the sort of standard they were saying even a few weeks ago, where they won like 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah,
Tondraker interim. Have they won a game when he's been the permanent manager? I mean,
yeah,
they're fallen off, and this is not good because you look at Southampton, and you think, oh yeah, they should be in the playoffs really, and they're falling off the pace rather fast, and it's a bit of a concern.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, they're a parachute team as well, and they're not performing to anywhere near the standard you would expect of a team coming down from the Premier League. The only one that's done it, and we've been seeing this for weeks, or is starting to do it rather, is Ipswich Town.
Yeah.
There's something else as well, though. Like, if you look at, Sheffield United, I'll give them a little bit of a pass because obviously their game was postponed. And obviously Leicester don't play till tomorrow. Although the way Ant's going on, he probably won't expect them to win anyway. So if you're looking, but even with Leicester with the point deduction, is there a genuine chance? Say if Ipswich get top 2 with Coventry, right? Mm-hmm. There's a genuine opportunity for 4 non-parachute teams to make up the playoffs.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think as a neutral,
that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Well, I imagine for Annie, actually, Annie, I want to ask you this then.
Don't ask about the playoffs.
Hold on. Before we get
right. Would you not fancy a chance a bit more if there were no parachute payment teams in there? There we go. He shot it down straight away. I love it.
Nope.
In which case, then, would you like to just finish 7th and just leave it there then?
Yeah, sure. It's 11th again, please. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I would actually be a bit more controversial and say I would actually fancy my chances if there was no parachute teams in there. If it was teams like you've been playing all season and you've had a good run against,
I'd say my shout.
Why not fancy your chances? Why not give yourself a shot?
I'm guessing Annie's going to respond something like, I support Bristol City. Mates.
This is under the presumption that we're getting into the playoffs, so no, there we go.
2 points off it.
Okay, whatever, Michael.
Well, no, it's factual, isn't it? You are 2 points off the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's not buying it.
No,
I don't blame him after losing the pressure. I don't blame him after they've lost.
I know you can't. Not after New Year's. No, you can't.
Well, I'm just saying that I think take Annie out of it for a minute. Well, for me and Carl particularly, probably is interesting to talk about this because as a neutral point of view, that is actually quite good to see that you're going to have 4 non. But that it could be that if say even if Leicester start performing but get a point deduction, or if they don't get a point deduction but continue to be, then if Sheffield United don't perform, if Southampton continue the way they are. Then if Ipswich get top 2, then it's going to be an interesting playoffs. Because if say Ipswich finish 3rd or 4th, you'd back Ipswich heavily to win the playoffs. Yeah, you do. Which is a neutral point of view is probably not what you want to see, even though Ipswich fans rightly would not give one jot. Whereas if you're looking at the playoffs, say if Ipswich swap places with Borough, then you're looking at say if it was Borough, Preston, Millwall, Watford. I mean, Jesus, and Watford getting into this conversation, bloody hell, that's how close this division is.
They're in a top 2 conversation, Watford. I mean, they're brilliant. they're really good.
Points,
They're really good, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, my shout at the minute, I think Millwall would be an unsung shout because I rate Alex Neil at this level. And I think, I mean, even Borough depends if Kim Hellberg can sort of get them on a good run. But then again, as we proved last season, you don't necessarily need to have a good run to win the playoffs. You just need to manage the playoffs well. So we'll see. So Andy, there's a bit of hope for you if you don't have a good finish in the playoffs and have a good.
I mean,
no, I laughed.
Work on the day in the playoffs. Work over your two-legged semi-final, and if you make it through,
don't remind him of that. Don't remind him of that.
No,
no, I don't think Andy's going to want to know about that.
No, he don't want to know. He doesn't want to know. He's
Two phrases have just made me laugh. What was it, Michael? You said manage the playoffs well.
Yes.
Get a bit of luck in the playoffs.
Can I just say, to be fair, we did kind of get a bit of luck in the second leg, so we did both, so it was fine.
There we go.
You know, I think he's just kind of thinking, manage the playoffs well. Yeah, we did for the first 45 minutes, and everything went to shit. So
not even 45, like half an hour. There we go.
It was half an hour. It was half an hour.
I mean, I'm going to be totally honest. I love watching all the playoff drama from a neutral point of view, mainly because I live north of the border with Kyle, and it's quite an exciting thing on television come the end of May, because every week's not that exciting. So I love watching the playoffs. I love to see who gets into the semis, then the final. But this season is the only season I can't call. I've been able to call the last couple of seasons because there's been points gaps, points deductions, things like that. But this season, it's just so tight from week to week, or Saturday to Tuesday, or Saturday to Wednesday. The picture changes so quickly, you just can't call who's going to be there come into the season.
No. And that's because this league is absolutely stupid. That's why. In a good way, it's absolutely stupid. Like,
it's stupid in a good way, but it's also meant because it's good to watch.
Well, yeah, this what I mean. Even with given where we are, and I'm obviously happy where Sunderland are, I still prefer watching the Championship as a neutral, personally, because I actually think that the mentalness of the division is just.
And he's shaking his head there.
I know he is, because he's probably going. Yeah, but you're like top.
Ooh, as a Premier
I know.
Eighth in the Prem or something.
Annie, 5 years ago, we got beat by Bristol Rovers in League One. I am going to milk this and enjoy it.
Hey, you should remember at least 15 years ago, Bristol Rovers needed to beat our asses in League One until we got the late winner through Jerry Becks to get back into the Championship.
I know what Annie's thinking here, but look, he's going, well, if we're going by the El Crapico and who was worse, I bet we will win that trophy hands down, lads. So
I can name you about 15 games. Both of you.
Yes, like I probably could as well. Gillingham 1, Sunderland 0, playing for a point. Bristol Rovers 2, out of form, Sunderland 0. Phil fucking Parkinson as manager. Yeah.
We'll talk about Phil Parkinson in a minute because
actually, Stefan probably has a higher opinion of him than I do.
Yeah, we will talk about Phil Parkinson shortly.
Yes, we will. But yeah, the point I was going to end supposed to get back on point because this stream is as mental as the Championship itself, week by week. I think what's good. It's weird because how many of you guys would have genuinely, when doing your predictions, would have put the parachute payment teams as the top 4 at the start of the season? So I did. I went. What was it? I think I went Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester, Sheffield United, or something.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think
depending on points deductions and whatever else. But I didn't think if I'd said to you then, all right, let me phrase. At the start of the season, I said to you, by the halfway point, 3 of the parachute teams will be in the bottom half. By the halfway stage, or just over.
I think I had Ipswich, Southampton, Birmingham and Sheffield United as my top 4.
Yeah, I had.
Well, that's right. That's still 3 of the top 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I had Ipswich as well. Southampton. I think Sheffield United was in that conversation, and also I had Leicester and Birmingham. I had Leicester and Birmingham in that conversation as well, actually. So
it just goes to prove that if you're a non-parachute club, this is the year to do it, probably.
Yeah,
and you've got to remember. And I know we've talked about this a lot, especially at the start of the season, where the 3 teams, 2 of them coming up from League One, 2 of them you'd expect to be really strong. Wrexham are the highest performing at the minute, and they're 1 point off the playoffs, and they're performing really well, winning games. Birmingham, sort of waiting for something to happen, and glimpses today that something could happen.
Sorry, I wasn't laughing at you, Annie. I was laughing at a comment that Michael put in the chat.
So
Hollywood
yeah,
FC.
So yeah, it's a fascinating division from that point of view, because normally you have teams coming up from League One that either at best sort of finish lower mid-table, and then you're still looking at the parachute team as the big sort of threat to the promotion places. But no, apart from Ipswich, as you mentioned, no one is really convincing me from those parachute teams. In fact, they're all giving me signs that they're not going to do anything this season and just sort of stay in the table and where they are. So fascinating division. The door wide open for Coventry, who have seemingly run through it, halted a little bit, but still, jogging through it at a comfortable pace. Middlesbrough, Millwall, Watford, Hull, Wrexham, potentially Birmingham later on. You've got these teams who are if all goes well, they're gonna have a serious. I mentioned Preston in there. These teams can certainly have a crack at it.
It's seriously open, though, isn't it? And that's what's actually great about it. And so, but I think I will say this. I'm just going to throw this shout here, right? And this says a lot, given how much I can't stand their manager. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Wilder gets Sheffield United on a playoff push by the end of the season. It might look mental right now, but I think
it can happen.
But if you look at, they're 9 points off. But obviously, how many games they played? 25. Obviously, they'll have a game in hand now with Oxford at home. But just put out there, I think Sheffield United might be quite busy in this window, because they're a year 2 parachute team. They have to try and go for it this year.
And also they've let a lot of their loan players look like they're going to let a lot of their players go, because that AI model thing that didn't work, that's been binned off.
The bin, flush it down the toilet.
What do you mean it didn't work? They were only bottom of the league with 0 points, mate.
And also Ben Godfrey and Louis Barry have both been sent back, and Doug Bene might be disappearing soon as well. So they are going to have some business to do. They look like they will be busy this window. Busy.
I'm just rolling out there. Out of, say, Sheffield United, Leicester, and Southampton, I think Sheffield United I would back them to finish the highest of the 3 at the minute. Whether they finish in the playoffs or not is a different matter. But I think you got to look at Leicester points deduction. We don't know whether that's going to happen still. Somehow still don't know if that's going to happen. Southampton, they're not convincing me at the minute either. No. So, but even if none of them make the playoffs, their loss is non-parachute payment teams gain, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just to make you aware, the transfer window shuts on the 2nd of February at 11 p.m.
It's the second time we play on deadline day, because we played Burnley at home on the Monday, 2nd of February. Last year we played bloody Middlesbrough away on deadline day, so I couldn't even look at the deal. So I was like, we're playing a game. So it's hopefully get in with one. Right, have we signed anyone?
For the entire 15 hours, my TV and my phone is locked to Sky Sports News.
But here's
literally.
To talk about Michael's Hollywood FC comment. So, who's going to win the Hollywood derby, Deadpool or Wolverine?
Ooh, Deadpool, of course he is.
Fair enough, I like that.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
Actually, Watford could literally have Deadpool's classic Wolverine costume colour. So, yeah. That's literally Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, they are called the Hornets, so yeah.
Hey, I like the way you're thinking there. Sorry, Carl, go on before I end up taking us into more madness.
Oh, don't worry, it's fine. You two being on it. I know you guys are coming for so bye. The way you definitely spoke about it in the group chat on Twitter.
I mean, come on. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in the same film. Yes, please.
All right, let's move on to the.
Yes, Annie, I'm a nerd and I don't care.
I know, we're all nerds, Annie. When you get to our age, then you understand.
I understand now. Don't worry, I understand.
Fair enough. Let's go to the dead. A late winner for Millwall. They beat Swansea City 2-1 through Caleb Taylor scored his second goal since he joined from West Ham last August. Millwall moved back into the playoff places, especially the Lions took the break thanks to Milano Ivanovic turn and finish that put them in the lead until Cabango scored just after half time as well, but Caleb Taylor got the win in the 92nd minute. Don't know what to say about Millwall. You just can't put them down.
No,
they just keep getting the results, don't they?
Yeah,
they don't know when they're beat. Millwall, we just don't know when they're beat, and that's the intensity instilled by Alex Neil. And he's been there 4 seasons now, I think, and he's done
At Millwall, no, he was there last season, wasn't he?
Was it
He
last
was
season?
last season, I think.
That's it. Yeah.
He's
That's
done
it.
he's
But
done
a great job, yeah.
He's done a great job taking over from Hurst. He's done a fantastic job taking them away, because I think when he took over, they were sort of mid-table, and they're now pushing for a playoff place. So he's done an amazing job at the end. He's making it a fortress, but also I'm kind of a bit fearful for Swansea again as well, because they had that sort of 2-3 game run where we were starting to pick up points. The new man was starting to find his feet. He was starting to get them under the table, and then all of a sudden we're back. We're playing well, but we're just not getting the results. So we're going the wrong way. Millwall's going the right way.
I think just to add on Millwall as well, what's good about it is that Alex Neil's very good at doing that, where he's good at getting a squad together and really getting a sort of a siege mentality, I guess, to use more footballing cliches, really. But what their fans would find really funny, imagine a Millwall win the playoffs in the same season West Ham get relegated.
West Ham go down, they go the other way.
No, but they've been away. I want them in the same league though. So whether that's
we have to deal with them twice in the season. Which
I was going to say, whether West Ham stay up or Millwall don't go up, like it'd be quite fun. God, imagine. Right, let's say West Ham go down and Millwall stay down. Imagine Millwall West Ham in the Championship.
What
a game!
But imagine if by some miracle West Ham stay in the Premier League and Millwall come up. You've got Millwall West Ham, and then you've got Millwall versus Chelsea in the same week in the same season.
Can you imagine me and Carl going, we thought we just got rid of the Den and now we have to go back there
again.
Again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's place I want to go to.
I'll tell you
right now, though, whoever would get if Millwall finish the playoffs, whoever gets them is going to be in for one very hard too, like it's semi-final.
Yeah. Exactly, but I'll tell you something about Alex Neil now. When Alex Neil was up and coming as a player manager, he played for a team called Hamilton Academical.
That's not been saved now recently with the owners, so yeah.
And he managed Hamilton as well, but in the season that he got the player manager position at Hamilton, he put Hibernian into the Championship, admittedly on penalties over two-legged sort of
playoff. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was the first season it had been introduced. I was at that game and I was thinking, oh God. But for the whole entire season, I went to every ground in the Scottish Championship that I could get tickets for. Yeah. And that's just the thing that an up-and-coming manager can do. Then he got his chance in England, and he's just ran with it, Alex Neil.
Yeah, because he went to Norwich after that. He got promoted. Yeah. So, yeah.
He got them promoted to the Premier League, I think.
Yeah, he did. And then went to Preston for a bit, briefly at Sunderland for that few months, and then went to Stoke. And took a time out, and then got back being back at the right club at Millwall. So I think he replaced Neil Harris after that. So
he did. He replaced Neil Harris, and he's done a fantastic job at the Den, making it a fortress.
Yeah.
I just had a look because Ben Cabango scored for Swansea, and the last time I was just curious.
He's not scored for a while.
Doesn't score a lot, and I had a little scroll, and the last time he scored away at Sunderland in a 1-0 win for Swansea, I think, last season. So there we go. Still, I'd point that out. And then obviously the goal before that was against us as well. So Cabango likes scoring against teams who apparently support. We guys support.
Like supporting against mine and Nanny's teams, basically.
Yeah.
So maybe he's seen one of our streams and just hates the pair of us. I don't know.
Just got some breaking news regarding outside the Championship Premier League. We have to hear that Liam Rosina is flying to London to having talks with the vacant Chelsea manager position. That has like it's going to. We'll hear that in the next 24, 48 hours as well. He will probably be the new Chelsea manager on a long-term contract. So Strasbourg are part of the Blue Co ownership group, which owns Chelsea as well. So it's not a surprise.
I have a question for Liam Rosina. Is this instead of asking to move to a new job, is it just asking for a transfer?
It sounds
pretty much, yeah. They're owned by the same ownership, aren't they?
It's like, oh, okay, I'll still work for you, but I'll just work there.
Oh, it's easy to just change the details in the draft, the like that he signed, and then
was it? Just change everything to Chelsea instead of Strasbourg. That'll be easy.
Yeah, well, actually, not to be under the blue code.
Yeah,
so it's like what they're doing with the City Football Group. It's the City Football Group owns a contract. Doesn't matter where you play.
But the whole reason he's gone to Chelsea is because he's a yes man. He'll do anything that Todd Bowley and the consortium say. He's obviously been doing that at Strasbourg.
Well,
because
I don't know about that. He doesn't He doesn't come across like that, does he?
No, I don't see that in that scenario. If you from his days when he was at Sky Sports as a pundit, he looked a bit beyond just the analysts. He looked a little more at the tactical side of things properly. And a lot of people think he's got the credibility. Yes, what about Hull? I think the ownership should not have sacked him because they missed out on the playoffs. But but he was playing good, decent football.
Yeah.
So,
it was a bit stodgy at times. It was quite sideways back.
No, it wasn't sideways, but it did kind of work a bit. And
a little bit, yeah. But they had the quality though, Hull. So they could have got into the playoffs. But I do agree with Rosina on the sort of time aspect of it, because all the quality players that Hull signed was in that January window. It was like Rory, Carvalho, Morton was before that, but Handel was signed in January and he didn't play a game. So
Louis Barry as well too.
Was Louis Barry not Ruben Sellers?
Oh, yes, he was. No, you're
right.
Yes,
he was. But the other thing as well, Liam Rosina is a untested manager at Premier League level. Yes, he went from Hull to Strasbourg and he's tested in Europe. But when it comes to the big fish in English football, I don't know how long he'll be at Chelsea for. Let's be honest. Chelsea swap managers a bit like Watford when we go on a losing run. So I don't know how long this appointment's going to last, whether he's going to be successful, but only time will tell.
Time will tell. Yes, I get that, but he actually is. I think like what Michael Brown was saying, Lou will not rock the ball like Enzo, which is probably a fair point. But like I said, it's his expectations. I know he had a bit of Premier League experience with both, because he played for you guys, and for his first club at Bristol City, did it there, and then he moved for a good few seasons, and to Reading. And like I said, he has been in the Premier League, with his playing career, but it's to manage like what Stefan says, a different ball game. But I just think, yes, what he did at Strasbourg, on the free is done. He replaced Patrick Vieira the summer before, So to quite honestly, he did turn down a lot of big moves from Premier League clubs this past summer. So he did turn down a lot of moves, So, but like I said, his first season for Strasbourg, he got into the Europa Conference League.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, he was successful at Strasbourg, but Chelsea's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah,
a hugely different kettle of fish, and I would be excited by the challenge, but at the same time, I would also be nervous as well, because if you lose 2, 3, 4 games, even if you play well, you're still going to be under pressure. It's a bit like, for example, our old pal up here. He's definitely under pressure. He's still in the job. He's still in the job just now.
Yeah,
but I don't know how long for.
Well, here's the thing, because I looked at Strasbourg's league last season, they were in the top 4 on Matchday 28 because they were hovering between the low table, the middle of the table, and they got to 7th by the 22nd, and they were in the chance to qualify for Champions League until they had a couple of draws.
Yep.
The last 2 games of loss, so they missed out on not just the Champions League but the Europa League, but they got to the Conference League. So they did. So something was working there. Because the league, because like I said, league last season was very close, a lot closer in the European spots.
And you feel like if his style of football would work better at a team with higher quality players for that league. The same thing we said about Enzo Maresca.
Yeah.
Where we said, oh yeah, his football's okay. It's quite methodical. It's quite patient. Relies a lot on players being intelligent enough to pick up what you're doing. It worked at Leicester quite well because Leicester had the best players in the division at that time. So it translated all right at Chelsea. Same thing, I'd say, with Liam Rosenior. Translated okay at Hull, and I think it could translate well over to Chelsea
Because they got the same youth poll. Because they got the same youth policy, which is what he's been. So it might.
Yeah, I don't know. I hold my hands up. I don't know how sort of his football's evolved at Strasbourg. Has it got more extreme, a little bit more pragmatic? Maybe he's reined it in a little bit, but
I think he's still stuck the same ways, but he actually mixed it around quite well. And that's why I think,
And you've got to remember, Rossini's still really young. Like he's a really young coach. He's a really good coach. He's a really young coach. And Hull was his first proper job, like a proper job. He had Derby for a bit. Hull was his first proper job, and I was surprised he didn't get the Derby job. They give it to Paul Horne. I suppose it worked out well with everyone, but I think if given the time, but Chelsea, you know what it's like. It's a boiling point. It can all go tits up pretty quickly if you don't sort of get results. It'll be. I'm quite excited. I'm quite pleased for Rossini because I think it's good to have a manager come out, an English manager coming out of the Championship, so made his way into the game in the Championship with Derby and with Hull, to then go abroad, craft his trade a little bit more, have a good spell, and then come into the Premier League. I think that's a really good pathway for future coaches, English coaches, to take. And Rossini comes really switched on, really intelligent. I think he could do a really good job at Chelsea.
Apparently, according to Sky Sports News, he's to be interviewed tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's not just talks. He's been formally interviewed tomorrow by the Wuko Group. But I would imagine he'll pass out with flying colours because he's already worked for him at Strasbourg. So it's just a case of we're doing a managerial transfer first rather than a big player transfer. That's all it is, in effect. It's just a managerial transfer.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's because after where Strasbourg were for years, they're nearly on the decline, and it's taken them to come back from the 5th division to League One, and and now they got European campaign for the first time in their history. So quite honestly, they are one of the teams that could do well in the Conference League this season. But
I remember Strasbourg in the 1990s, and they were very, very strong. So the mid to late 1990s, they were one of the strongest French teams, along with Auxerre and Bordeaux.
Yeah, they were.
And over the last sort of decade, if you will, they fell off the radar, but under various coaches and various styles of football, they've managed to come back to the top table in France, Ligue 1, which is sponsored by McDonald's, good Liga, along with the Australian one. And apparently we're doing quite well. So give the guy his due. He's done well there, but like I say, only time will tell. And it would be really interesting to get Chelsea fans' thoughts on this, because I'm sure there's some mixed emotion, because some would like Maresca's style of play, but obviously some might be excited for Liam Senior coming in. I mean, it's going to be an interesting watch over the next couple of weeks.
It will be. It will be indeed. It will be indeed.
Can I just say, Cameroon have just qualified for the quarterfinals of AFCON, and Junior Shamado, championship representation on the world stage, has just scored. Stoke City fullback. He scored one of the goals. Pun?
Who did it beat?
South Africa.
Bloody hell! South Africa have been a good team. Coming up to the lead up to the AFCON. Actually, they've been a good team, South Africa.
But yeah, well done to Junior Shamado, who absolutely ripped us a new one. The 5-1 win early in the season, but I'm not salty or bitter about
that. Absolutely. Right. We've got not a lot of games left to go. Let's go on to the third to last game, and let's go to Carrow Road. And Sam Gallagher scored his first Stoke goal in 10 months after the Potters beat Norwich 2-0. So Thomas got also the goal in the 8-second minute in the second half. And they continue their promotion push, Stoke, and bit of a setback for Norwich a little bit, especially Norwich still remain in the bottom three.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, what's that results put Stoke 1 point back off the playoffs again, and I think to win one because I thought fancied Norwich beforehand to get something out of this. But yeah, I think from Norwich's point of view, I mean, Norwich again, just quickly on the Norwich point of view. I don't know. Norwich definitely have improved under Philip Clement. There's no doubt about that. They at least don't look completely helpless like they did before. And I think that it's good to see that they are starting to get a little bit of form. Well, something a bit of a form. It just seems to. I mean, what is it? I think they've been in a little mini sequence of like win loss, something like that. Then they end up losing to Watford. Then they beat QPR, lost to Stoke. So maybe they're going back to the point where they're losing their home games and winning their away ones. I have no idea with that one, but I think Norwich are another club that might end up being busy in this window, and they should have money to spend, given they still probably have a vast majority of the Marcelino Nunez money, and they sold them to Ipswich. But for Stoke, no doubt, it's a really, really solid 3 points for them. And actually, I think Stoke have started to get a little bit more steady momentum again, because they had been on a bit of a poor run before this, hadn't they? So, I don't think it was any, and I don't think any serious fan was questioning the job Mark Robbins is doing, because if you actually, I mean, it is quite bad for Stoke, this, but when you look at what they have done in the last, well, effectively decade, really, in the Championship, this is probably the first time they've actually been remotely competitive for what
they finished bottom half every time they've been in the Championship.
Yeah, it's like 14th place, like the highest finish within the last.
17th is their perennial home. 17th, yeah.
Right. But it used to be 16th, and I think season before last we finished 16th and took that off them. So they had to settle for 17th instead. Yes, that sounds so shit. But either way, they are 1 point now off the top 6. Obviously, the caveat is Hull and Watford haven't played, because their game was postponed. But either way, I mean, I think it's just starting to get Stoke steadily ticking along nicer. But I think that Norwich in particular, I think Ben Napper will probably be busy on the recruitment front in this window for them.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be very busy in this transfer window as well. But like I said, good win for Stoke. That puts them back a point, just be back in near the playoff hunt as well. Let's get onto the penultimate game and start off with your team, Annie. Unfortunately, disappointing defeat for you guys.
Sorry, guys. This is where Annie's going to conveniently jump off stream. He's got plans, right? You'll see you later.
Yeah. Yeah. Preston beating Bristol City 2-0. Goals from Lewis Dobbin and Alfie Devine scored as well for the Preston, for the Lily Whites as well. Annie, give us your response for the game. What was your feedback on it? The review.
Can I just ask him, what was Bristol City doing for the first goal?
Yeah.
The first goal.
Where was your defence today?
Crap. Absolute.
Sorry,
absolute.
So bad. Oh my god. What are we doing for the first goal? Very good question. Ask our defense. So bad. It's an undercooked back pass back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper's under massive pressure, so he has to hit it first time. Can't take a touch, can he? He can't take it round Osmaic. Just has to clear it. And I can't really portion the blame on Max O'Leary. And then Randall's not ready to get the ball. He loses it in midfield, and then we get swarmed. And that happened every time Preston got on the ball. A sort of counter-attacky situation. Got the ball, got runners, off of Osmaic, Dobbin, Potts, Whiteman, whoever it was, just ran They kept doing that. And yeah, the first goal was an absolute joke. I mean, it's so bad. I mean, did something I'd expect from a Bristol City team 3 years ago. It's not. That was seriously bad. And then the second goal isn't much better. The exact same thing happens. Actually, we give the ball away, trying to play out the back. It's Morsey, Dickey, Borges as a little triangle. Dickey gives it to Morsey. Morsey undercooks the back pass back to Dickey. Dickey passes it into the middle of nowhere. Neto Borges is caught. And then the ball is sort of worked. And then Divine finishes it quite nicely, actually. But no, absolute steaming pile of... You can finish that sentence. There we go. Thank you, Michael. It was so bad. And I am... not losing faith, but I am seriously questioning whether this team, I think it's got the quality to finish in the playoffs. I'll say that. I think it does, and I think some of the teams above us on our day, we can beat and we can finish in those playoff positions. However, there is when our strikers and our forward players are not quite at it. Oh my god, you can tell. Mehmeti not at it. He didn't get involved as much as he normally does. Scott Twine was abysmal. And Sinclair Armstrong had an off day. You can excuse him. He's had a pretty good last few games. I'll excuse Sinclair Armstrong. The players that came on, apart from Sam Bell, who I thought was quite good, Emil Rees, awful, absolutely terrible. Didn't
perform well against his own club.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just it's just a case of didn't win any of his headers, didn't really press too well, and had one shot which went so far wide, and he just so unimpactful. And yeah, we need a forward. We desperately need a forward, but that's not it. And I'm sat here hoping, praying that this is just an off day. And we just kind of write it off. But every single home game this season that we've lost, I have up to this point gone, okay, we've been a bit unlucky. I think QPR at home, okay, we had the chances to win that, bit unlucky. Millwall at home, certainly should have got something out of that one. Who I'm trying to remember. Oxford at home, bit unlucky, got done by set plays. This one was appalling. This one was shocking.
So,
and,
Annie, if you're saying you desperately need a forward, who would you like to see come in this window?
It's a case of I'm not really sure what sort of forward we need, because I think in the building at the moment we've got a little bit of everything.
If I say to you Welsh Deadpool was available because he's been recalled from his loan at Wigan Athletic early, he's in the shop window.
Yeah, I think Andy's going to want a bit of a higher caliber.
Yeah, I think we want a little bit more of a higher caliber than that. But you know,
how about all you big man? What's your name?
Okay, that would certainly get me going, but I don't.
Sorry, that was funny when it just go, "Oi, big man, what's your name?" And then Andy goes, "That'll seriously get me going."
Would a Joe Peru be that difference?
No, there's no chance. Can we stop? Can we stop this? Just because hang on. Mayenda I played along with because as a little joke. There's no chance. Joel Perot, there's no chance. We're fishing in a market of Jacob Brown. That's the market we're fishing in. All right, let's calm our horses. That's the Tilano Bergsorg, Jacob Brown. That's the market we're fishing in. Not Joel Perot, not Mayenda, not I don't know.
Welsh Deadpool.
Probably a little bit below where we were.
Yeah, I don't think you really helped his cause here.
No, his cause is that bad.
Ryan Hardy.
Yeah, so
that wouldn't be the worst, but no, I think.
Let's talk about Hardy and I'll come on to that. Let's talk about him either being let go or put out on loan in this window. So
just to put out there, what about Tommy Conway coming back?
Ooh.
I think it depends. I think for us, the forward line. I'm going to ignore your question completely, Michael. I'm not even going to talk about it. I think for us, a forward depends on. I think for us, a forward depends on what sort of forward. Obviously, just said that, but the supply line, so i.e. the creativity behind those forwards supplying the chances, I think have a few too many off days. And if you look at the numbers, you look at Mehmeti and he's produced excellent numbers. You look at Twine, he's produced excellent numbers. But I think there's been a little bit of a cloud, a little bit of a fog over this team. Look, a little bit of a smokescreen. That's the one. Smokescreen over this team where they seem to be winning games on a relatively regular basis, kind of. And I'm sat here going, we've not played that well here. We've not played that well, and we've somehow beat Hull 4-2, beat Sheffield United 4-1, beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. Just generally in games, some games I've gone, okay, am I being like led on here, or what's going on? How have we
Does it
managed?
seem like how can I put this? Does it seem like then that the players you've mentioned can be anonymous for a lot of the game, but deliver a quality moment, and that gets the headlines?
Yes.
Is that a fair way of putting it?
You're bang on. Yeah, absolutely. Some players just drift in and out of games too much. Today, all of them pretty much non-existent. I mean, Middlesbrough at home, West Brom away. I was like, Middlesbrough had 28 shots against us. Morgan Whittaker's hit the post. Tommy Conway's missed a really good chance. West Brom away, we had 2 shots within 20 minutes and scored twice, and then nothing happened for the rest of the game. And then we just kind of sat there and waited for something to happen, and somehow won that game. Birmingham at home, again, let out a lot of the possession. Southampton at home, we relied on Cameron Archer missing a couple of golden opportunities. Norwich away, Radek Vitek makes an unbelievable save. They miss some big chances. And then we're going back to the start of the season. So a lot of the wins this season, apart from Portsmouth, apart from the 2 Portsmouth games, there we go, I've kind of gone, okay, but is that really sustainable? Is that really the team we want to be this season? And no, I've not really seen a hell of a lot from this team. I think this team, despite me saying we'd finish 11th at the start of the season, I think this team is capable of finishing the playoffs. The door is open. We did it last season. Why the hell can't we do it again? I mean, there is quality, and it feels like a bit of a make or break for us this season, because this is the best squad we've had in years, and that feels like a low bar, doesn't it? I mean,
it always feels like Annie's doing 2 different things here. He's going, right, well, there's no other. Well, hang on, we have the quality. There's no reason why we can't finish the playoffs. Also, Annie, Annie, why are we finishing the playoffs? Shut up. It's not happening.
It's not happening because we don't show it on a consistent enough basis. I was last season, Michael. I was pretty consistent throughout. I'm going, yeah, I think we can get there. I think we can get there. This season, I'm going,
that's a load of nonsense. I remember having to convince you until you beat us.
Do
you believe me now?
I remember that
it was going to happen. And then as soon as I think it was only when you beat us that you then really started to go, okay, hang on. We can actually do this. We're actually going to do this. So don't let you through your back teeth there, mister.
But if you do get there, surely lightning can't strike twice. Surely you would get one step further than you did the previous year.
To be fair to Annie, though, if you look at the Bristol City's board, though, they surely have to look at this and go, Leicester nowhere near it, Southampton nowhere near it, Sheffield United nowhere near it.
We've had in donkey's years,
exactly.
Michael. Last season we got there, yes, fantastic. Yeah. But we were always going to lose to Sheffield United or even Sunderland, right? Whoever we played, we were always going to lose to them in the semi-final. I sort of accepted that pretty early on. I was like, it would be nice to get in there, but there's no chance we get promoted. The door is so wide open. We are literally a few points away from 3rd place, let alone the playoffs. It's mind-boggling, and we just can't seem to put a run together that's any sort of consistency. And we've played Preston twice this season. We've got 1 point. Lost to Millwall twice. We've beaten Middlesbrough. Yes. We beat Hull. Yes. Fantastic. Great. We've not played them for 2nd time. We've lost to Stoke. We've drawn to Watford, and we've lost to Wrexham, and we lost to QPR. So the big games, which we won last season, and do you remember last season, at the end of last season, we had a series of games against playoff chasing teams at home, West Brom, Watford.
Mhm.
I'll throw Sunderland in there. It's a big game. Norwich, and we beat them all. We beat all of them at home, and that's what got us into the playoffs. We're not winning enough of those sort of big head-to-heads. We're not, and that's going to really seriously cost us.
What do you think you need the most in this window then to rectify that? If I had to be really awkward and ask you to nail down one position that you think this above all others has to be addressed if we're going to have a chance.
Number 9.
Number 9. Yeah, it's a big point.
It will mean we're completely bloated. I mean, it will mean we'll have Emil Reese, Sinclair Armstrong, Sam Bell, Fally Mayulu, and an extra forward, and Harry Cornick as well, possibly. That is a lot of players in those forward areas, but the quality, the numbers has never been an issue. The qualities, yeah, it's not.
As in the quality of the forwards, you mean?
Yeah, I'd rather have 2 brilliant forwards than 5 shit ones.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I am.
You are right. This is an opportunity for you, though, isn't it? Like, if you're looking at how 3 of the 4. I mean, I would imagine, like, you know, even for a moment, even if he's gone.
He'll be back. Don't worry.
I think he'll be back soon enough. But I think he is right though. Like, even if you look at if I'm Bristol City, I'm looking at it going, I think there's every chance Ipswich get second and go up with Coventry. So even though you got Middlesbrough, and Middlesbrough obviously been doing a class this season, but I think if you're in the playoffs, you'd have a better chance against Middlesbrough winning in a semi-final, for example, than you would Ipswich over 2 legs. But so I do get Andy's point. Like, I think surely Bristol City's board's got to look at this and go, right. And bear in mind, yeah, I know Andy made a joke about it's not going to go into the transfer kitty, but you're about to bank a lot of money from the Antoine Semenyo to Man City transfer. Surely that is the moment where they go, bang. Right, here we go. Quality number 9, a player who may be in the attacking midfield winger positions that doesn't just do the numbers, that actually does that isn't anonymous in a lot of games. Surely this is the moment for them where they go, right, let's go for it. Because you're in a situation where a lot of the parachute clubs, apart from Ipswich, have been poor.
Do you know what, Michael? I would actually look, if I was on the Bristol City board, I would actually look towards the Scottish League. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from Scotland and I live in Scotland, but quite a lot of the teams, your Hearts, your Hibs, your Motherwells, your St Mirrens, your Falkirks even, have really good players that would flourish in the English Championship.
Well, someone like, say, Shanklin, for example, is someone who I would think of, but he's not going to leave Hearts. He's not going to leave Hearts. He's not going to leave Hearts at the minute while they're 6 points top of the SPL, is he?
And he's captain, so no, he wouldn't leave. But maybe in a season or 2, or.
I take your point, though. Yeah, I mean, certainly in terms of wages.
I mean, we've tried a little bit of everything with the striker department. We've tried the young, sort of untested one in Sinclair Armstrong. We've tried the foreign sort of commodity in Fally Mayulu. That has not worked out at all. And we've tried Emil Reese, who is a bagsman in the Championship and has spent 5 years here and has scored goals regularly when he's not been injured. So we've tried a little bit of everything. And we've got Harry Cornick in the door. We've got one of our own in Sam Bell. Something's like
Well,
I don't know what
the other
can
thing
you do?
you could do is look at the second divisions in France and Portugal, because Carl's team in Scotland Hearts, they got Claudio Brava, you've got Kizarides, you've got Magnussen.
We went for these players that really fought, even through Jamestown analytics, that really punched above their weight. And it just shows you, if you not have that analytics program in your club, what you're doing. And I think that's the problem. And some clubs in the Championship don't do as much. Like what Hearts have done has transformed them to be probably now title contenders at this season, which no one did expect we were going to be.
What Tony Bloom has done for you guys, giving you that £10 million investment to be able to go out and find these gems that nobody's heard of, and you've just added to it with Jordi Atalanta from
Holland from the second division.
Nobody's heard of these players ever before in Scotland. We've come in, and all of a sudden, on the football programs and football podcasts and football shows, they're getting talked about week to week. So it wouldn't surprise me. Yes, let's say in hindsight, Hearts go on, they maintain their 6-point gap, they win the league this year, would not surprise me. But what wouldn't surprise me after that is if the players like Braga, Kazarides, Franklin, Magnuson, Jordi Atalanta, they'll get headhunted by clubs in England, clubs in Germany, Denmark, France.
Most of
Like clubs that
India.
basically are in leagues that have more
Anyway,
financial money input into it. Yeah, I think just I'd big on the Bristol City again, Andy. So I think when you mentioned number 9, what would be the? Is there a type of forward you could get that maybe could complement one of the forwards you're with?
I don't know, Michael. I don't know because we have, again, as I said, a little bit of everything. We have, I say Sinclair Armstrong and Emil Rees are the sort of front two at the minute. If it was Sam Bell is up there, but they're the sort of first choice two. Again, they should on paper complement each other quite well, but they're just not working, and it's just not working. And then
I'm just going to put this out there. What about Lyndon Dykes? I mean, I know he's at Birmingham, I know he's in the same week, but Hibs tried to get him on loan and he couldn't get a deal done. So even if it was a loan signing for say somebody like Lyndon Dykes, would you be happy with a Lyndon Dykes because he's strong he's strong, he battles for the ball, he can head the ball, he can shoot. Which
I think we're probably going to be looking at someone who's more of a prolific goal scorer.
I get that, but
that's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, obviously,
That's the problem.
options, financial options are going to be quite limited. So you might have to look towards the loan market or even free agents to get you through until it was the summer. Then, depending on where you finish.
The thing is, from one forward, I would have suggested, but one, I think he's made a few appearances for Southampton, and two, he's very injury prone. And he can probably guess I'm going to mention here is Ross Stewart, because he's out of contract in the summer. And but the problem that you would probably have is that he's going to be on a lot of money at Southampton, given a parachute payment club. So if I was Bristol City's board, but again, this is the problem. When he was fit with us in the Championship, I would strongly argue he was one of the best forwards in the division.
Bagsman.
Yeah, it's not even that. Like, he's not even just for his goal scoring. His hold up play is great. He brings others into play. He comes deep to receive the ball. He works his bollocks off up front. He's someone that, if fit, is one of the best forwards in the league. But that's always the key problem when you have someone who's injury prone, which is if fit, he can do this, but how often is he fit? That's the issue. So someone like that is what I think sounds like would be perfect for Bristol City. But the problem is, so if he was close enough to being fit, a loan deal to the end of the season, you could test the waters with that, and then with a loan deal to the end of the season. But then, if Southampton say no, then they say no.
I think if fit, Ross Stewart starts for Southampton.
That's the thing, yeah.
I think so. So no, I don't see that happening. But anyway, I will say finally, forward is required desperately. So if we don't sign a forward this January. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be happy. I don't think any of us are going to be happy. And when I said make or break season for us earlier, what I meant was Mehmeti out of contract, probably our biggest saleable asset at the moment. Zach Viner out of contract. Ross McCrory's out of contract, but he's got an option on his deal. I think Mark Sykes is out of contract. We have got some players, some big players who are out of contract, and if we don't get promoted, they're off, aren't they? So
is next season going to be a transitional rebuild then if you don't go up this year?
Oh my god, not again.
I know you don't like that.
I know.
It's a fair question. If you're losing that many players, then I think it's a fair question to ask.
Probably. Yeah, probably. But we'll get to that stage when we get to it. But
you mean when you're in the Premier League and all those players are going to leave because they're not going to be good enough for the top flight?
Well, let's hope that's the case, but I doubt it. But yeah, if we are wanting to keep them, maybe Viner signs a new deal because he's a sort of local boy and stuff. But Mehmeti, he's proving to be a top end Championship player. Sykes might want a different opportunity. He's been there a little while, so yeah, we are staring down a little bit of a barrel if things if we just meander to a peter out to a mid-table place again.
Good news is though, you've still got 35 days to sign your number 9. There's still plenty of time.
We can wait until day number 34 then.
Well,
Probably deadline day, to be fair, Andy, let's be honest.
Well, either way, I think if you're looking at that money they're going to get off the Semenyo deal,
I think it's like £11 million, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I know Andy doesn't believe that is going to be invested, but the board.
I say it, Michael, not because I'm like pessimist, because we've made an £18 million loss from last year's accounts. I'm not going to sit here, act like a sort of financial expert. I'm not, but if a club's operating at that level of loss,
you do need. I do
presume a lot of it
would
go.
Cut your cloth a bit, don't you?
Yeah, you just, and I don't know how that's really happened. Presumably, a couple of summers ago, when Liam Manning spent quite a bit, like £15 million or something, spent in that summer. But two windows running, last January and this following summer, we've barely spent anything. So
when you say the accounts, is that the 24-25? Oh, that's 23-24, isn't it? The last published accounts that you'll have had.
Yeah. Well, the one
unless Bristol City's published their 24-25 accounts already.
I doubt it.
I don't think they have. I can have a check now.
But while Carl's looking at that, though, but if you look at it, you got compensation for Liam Manning going, didn't you? So I'd imagine that can't have been. I don't know how much that would have been, but you would have.
It was a couple of million because Manning went, but also his coaching staff went, which is
actually, I have got the accounts here. Actually, this was just released just a couple of days ago. Actually.
So is this for 24-25 for last season?
It is, yeah. I've got it here. So actually, it's on your website. Actually, so you made a pre-tax loss of 18.6 million. 12 ended the 30th of June. Yeah.
Was it 18 million?
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be questionable how that's actually happened. Like, so
So
look at it this way. So even the 11 million, right? Say, and I know it's not as easy as this. Hence, I'm clearly not at a football club working there. But if you're looking at if you want, I mean, the Championship is the league where pretty much every chairman loses money to get in the Premier League or try to. I
think one club in like the last a little while has made.
It was not Wolves. It was like Wolves the year before they went up or something made a profit.
No, I think it was Rotherham when they went down with a record, not record, but like 20-something points, and they obviously got relegated. And
imagine that. Yeah, you've gone down comfortably. But good news, guys, the accounts are great. Like fans are going to care about that. But
so their revenue, your revenue decreased by 2.5 million was largely because you didn't have a concert-free summer because it was prepared for the Rugby Women's World Cup this year, back in September.
That's the thing, it's all revenue that adds up, doesn't it? I think my point was going to be, even if, say, 3/4 of that 11 million went towards trying to stabilise the accounts, surely a couple of million to pay, even for a good couple of really good loans, like loan fees and then portion of wages and such. That's what, if you balance the pair of them, because surely the board, again, must look at this and say, look, this is an opportunity here. So, look, we put 3/4 of that aside for the accounts, but here's a bit of it for the January window, because again, it's a gamble, but you have to try and take it. You don't get anywhere without taking any risks. So you go, well, that couple of million could have wildly, all of a sudden, best case scenario, turned into 100+ million.
And finally, I will say, last season we were punching above our weight, if I can speak. This season we're not. We're actually, I'd say, a little bit under par. So if we can just crank it up a little bit, please, and just turn that screw and actually start shooting and start scoring with a new striker, with a new forward. That would be very, very nice. In an ideal world, a new forward, so like a number 9 forward, possibly, but I heavily, heavily doubt it. A sort of creative midfielder in there as well to help bolster what we have in Twine and Mehmeti, but I doubt that will happen. But Morsey, I like. Very, very good signing. I like that, and he was really, really good today when he came on. But yeah, a forward is desperation levels of stuff we need, I think.
Do you know what's weird though? Looking at the table, and I'm looking at who's so say in the top 10, right? Again, I appreciate the league is very tight, but even if you want to go down as low as say 14th, right, where Leicester are, there's only 3 teams who've scored more than Bristol City. which is quite weird given what Annie's just said. We got Coventry, okay, they score about 100 goals a game, fair enough. Ipswich, year one parachute team, and then the last one, believe it or not, is Hull City. Bristol City have have the same goal scoring record as Wrexham and QPR, and have actually scored more than Preston, Watford, Millwall, Middlesbrough. Okay, a lot of them are by one goal, mind, to be fair, but they have scored more.
A lot of the goals we scored heavily banked in the first sort of few games of the season. 4 Sheffield United, 4 against Hull, 3 against Sheffield Wednesday, 3 against Swansea.
Yeah, that's always the context, isn't it?
A lot of it has gone sort of in a few games, and it's like 5 against Portsmouth, obviously.
Are you talking like, say, 5 goals here, 4 goals here, 3 goals, 4 goals, 5 goals there, rather than 2s, 1s, 2s, 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 3s, 2s? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not consistent enough.
No, it's not consistent enough at all. Yeah, but no, looking at the accounts, yeah, I think because you usually you guys have a concept and that makes up the revenue. But I also looked at the player trading as well. You have been a bit of a loss, yeah. So it's quite huge.
and it was the last sort of major sale. Tommy Conway was about 5 million, but if the large major sale was Alex Scott, and that was what,
that's what the Thomas Conway is in the figures. It was in there, the 5 million. And
so last major one was Alex Scott, and that was 3 years ago. So we haven't had a major player sale in a while. Yeah,
it comes back to the same point. When you're not a parachute payment team, you have to be able to sell really well, and that ends up and it makes up the. And it sounds depressing when you're a fan because you don't want your players to best players to leave. But even if you're somewhere in the pyramid in the food chain, I hate that phrase, but in the food chain, then you're going to be susceptible to losing some of your better players to make a huge amount of money. And it's all about and unfortunately these days a lot of football is about finances now and about how you have to balance having a competitive side while being savvy financially. So,
I think, especially because next season, because the championship is changing, the EFL's changing the financial.
Is that just the Premier League is changing the squad cost ratio, or is it
the championship is they're also going that same direction as well?
Right, okay.
Yeah, to prepare for next season. So I think they're going into the SCR, I think as well too.
Because it's 85% you can spend on first team costs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So which could be a good or bad thing depending on how well you run things. But yeah, I can. Yeah, that's the problem. When I know it's boring. Me talking about, I find it boring talking about parachute payment teams a lot, but it's literally what it is. Like it's just how, and again, it's that one season. Even if you are complete, even if say like Ipswich, which obviously weren't good enough to stay up last year, but it's just that one season that's just set them up.
Yeah, so there's tweaks now of the permitted losses where a loss limit up to £41.5 million in once can be approved, but this is saying about so that's the change is to close that loophole to make sure. So
okay, fair enough.
I think the squad cost ratio thing is coming into effect in the championship a couple of years from now. So not next year
now, but they are starting the transition period.
So is next season in the championship still going to be profit sustainability?
Yeah, it will be. It's just it will be a bit of a transitional period. Yeah.
Remind me then. So in the championship, is it still a 3-year period?
Yes.
You're allowed to lose a certain amount of money. Is it 40 million or something over the last 3-year period?
I think it's going up to 40.1 million for next season. For this season.
For Annie, then, does he know how much Bristol City lost in the previous 2 financial account years? I didn't think so.
No, I think it was less. I think it was
less than that. So I think
15 million the season before.
Yeah, it was. I think Bristol City will be fine because they're not exceeded it. So. They are fine. It's probably like Leicester's going to be the one that everyone's going to be looking at. So
let's see. So trying to think because it says 20. Hang on. So according on this, it says key figures and trends 23-24 accounts. So apparently we've got a pre-tax loss of 3.3 million according to this.
Yeah.
Down from 22.2 million in 2023. So what's that? So that means then if it's like 40 odd million or 41 million, then the last 3 years, that would explain why they haven't spent much. Because then if in 2023, which I imagine is the 22-23 season, then it means they've lost 22.2 million, then 3.3 million in 23-24, which goes up to 25.5. And then last season is 18.6, which would then means it goes up to, I think it's 44.1.
Yeah,
on that.
But if you count also with the transfer, the outgoings that they've done, like the income that players transfer, incomings, I think they will be meet that criteria fine. Because
that's what I mean, because it says here as well, like the reason for increased loss, for example, last season was lower, and I think Andy's made this point already, lower player transfer profits. So, for example, the Alex Scott sale in 23-24 was a big reason why the accounts in 23-24 actually looked like promising, or more so. And it says decreased revenue by 2.5 million. Oh, yeah, that's what you just said there. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Carl, I've just realised I've just literally gone the same thing you have. I was just curious to see what it was over the last 3 years.
Yeah, so I think they'll be all right because actually, as I usually the Swiss Ramble, if you can go look on the Swiss Ramble by his Substack because he does some very good financial stuff with his spreadsheets and stuff. So have a look at that. But yes, that is pretty much. I think they should be fine next season. I think at least by next because I think they'll meet that criteria under with the player sales that they did do.
Have you got any other assets from Bristol City who haven't got a contract until the end of the season? So one that's got at least 18 months or 2 years after this.
Jason Knight, I would have assumed, but he would be going into his final year of his deal. He'd be going into his final year of his deal next season. So Knighty in the summer, Twine, possibly. Twine signed a 3-year deal, possibly with a year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, there are some saleable assets there. How much will they actually bank? I don't know, Michael.
I'm just having a quick look. So Scott Twine's contract, once transfer market hurries up and stops giving you a bunch of 20 bloody pop-ups every 2 minutes. No, he's under contract until 2028. Scott Twine.
Oh, there we
he's
go.
got 2.5 years left.
There
so
we
he
go.
He joined 16th of August, according to transfer market anyway, so I don't know if this is accurate, but he says he joined 16th of August 2024, and he must have signed a 4-year contract then.
I thought it was a 3-year deal. Never mind. There we go, 4 years.
Well, that's the thing. So Bristol City aren't going to go up this year, then if say selfishly then, and as depressing as this is going to sound, you at least want Scott Twine to perform well enough in the next few months so that he can get his transfer value up and go, right, who wants to buy him for like 10 million quid? Or
yeah, I think we do need a major player sale sooner rather than later to hopefully start funding future business. But at the moment, it's we're being a little bit hamstrung.
Absolutely. Because I think from the player sales from last season, I think you're around in the middle. You're well above Stoke, but you're like 100k behind Plymouth from their player sales last season. Yeah,
it's worth pointing out last season. Obviously, they bought Scott Twine at the start of the 24-25 season, so I think that was like 4 million quid or something, or 4 or 5 million.
And
hello, Dan. How you doing?
Oh, a long time no see, Dad.
A lot of other players as well, Michael, for a lot of money. So. Yeah, that's
the problem with PSR, because you can go through so long of, like, say, a window or two of splashing and spunking money going for it, but then if it doesn't work, you're like, oh shit, now we actually need to like make sure we stay within the limit. So,
Anyway, nice depressing stuff for you, everyone. Sunday night.
I think Dan will probably sympathise very well, given how Burnley are not doing great at the minute.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll see Dan next season. It should be all right.
But like I said, you last season, you guys were looking at the revenue. Leeds and Leicester and Southampton were the big teams for both. Yeah, Watford, you were just behind Watford, and yeah.
Are you talking 23-24 here? Because you work
24 and 25 actually. Looking at the both.
I was gonna say, how does that work then? Leicester went in the Championship last year, or Southampton.
Doesn't matter. It goes to the last financial cast when they were in the Championship.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, when they were in the Championship, when they got relegated, and then after the promotion, they just focus on the teams. Yeah, so it's complicated. So
can I just say we're doing Annie's morale really great stuff here, by the way, aren't we?
Oh, you haven't got any money. You can't sign anyone. Stop talking about it.
Pretty much, yeah. And then Dan's just going, yeah, don't start with depressing. We are, and then I'll not describe the emojis that he's just literally putting, but I think you can gather from the emojis he's put in the chat what he means. Hey Dan, just here's one to not make it not make it even more depressed. At least you might have a game against Blackburn next season.
Dan, if you have any more fringe players that you're not using, and if you want to ship across to the West Country, I'd be more than willing. Another Scott Twine, another Luke McNally. That would be nice.
You're always welcome to have Ian Paveda if you want. Yeah, you said for me to start mentioning players that are realistic.
Guess it's realistic. Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
Like Paul Mullin is realistic.
I'll stay clear of him with a 10-foot barge pole, by the way. But yeah.
He was a good player, George Brownhill.
There you go, Dan. There you go. You said you needed number 9.
It's certainly a name. Jay Rodriguez, anyone?
Well,
God. Niall Foster and Ian Fleming on loan.
You could have Jay Rodriguez because he's not really getting his game at the moment, but he's happy sitting on the bench.
I think we probably need to move on to the Wrexham game because I think Andy's
that is the last thing. Let's move on. Let's move on to the last game, and a good win for Wrexham. Actually, they're now moving within the point of the Championship players after the beat Derby 2-1. Goals from Sam Smith, who scored back-to-back matches for the first time since April 25, and what a goal from Matty James after the second half as well, after Diaz equalised in the 34th minute. And Stefan, I give the floor to you. Good result for you guys today, and then a fourth consecutive win.
Yeah, not just today. It's been a good festive and New Year period with wins over the likes of Preston, Blackburn, and obviously today away at Derby. I mean, we went away to Blackburn and we won. We played Preston at home and we won. And we went away to Derby and we won. So it was a good result today. I mean, take nothing away from John Eustace's Derby. They did set up well. They gave us a few, let's just say, in every moment, but certainly in the first 20, 30 minutes of today's game, Wrexham was just in Derby's faces. And there was points where Derby couldn't handle Wrexham's press. Because right from the get-go, I don't know what Parky said in the changing room, the dressing room. He probably dropped a few Parky F-bombs, as he does before and at halftime and at the end of matches if we lose. He's probably dropped a few F-bombs and said, look, we need to win this game today to give them any chance of being involved in the playoff picture. And Sam Smith's goal was way too quick to be sandwiched in between two defenders and having the defender, who I call Mr. Derby, coming across him to try and take the ball off him. The way he took it, just with his sliding side of his foot, was just so nice. And the ball in, well, you can't take nothing away from that ball in. Then Derby come back into the game as they do. It's 1-1 at half time. But then, in the 48th minute, an absolute thunderbolt from Matty James. Now, this actually surprised me because Matty James has not been known for his scoring exploits at Wrexham at all. He's been known for his hold-up play and his playing in midfield, but for his scoring exploits, not a chance. But from Derby's point of view, it was a really, really poor ball to give away. He basically just intercepted Derby passing the ball about, and he just thought, nah, I'm going to go for this, and it flew into the top left corner.
Ginger's flight skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. For my mind, definitely so far goal of the month for January. Even though we're only 4 days into January, that is a serious goal of the month contender. And our next game in the Championship, just take the FA Cup out of the equation for the next few minutes or so. Our next game in the Championship is Norwich at home. So, okay. So, I think Norwich at home is going to be a tough game because, as I know and as Carl knows, and as you guys know now, Philippe Clement's sides are and difficult to break down. Yes, Stoke managed it, but it wasn't an easy game for Stoke. I don't think it'll be an easy game for Wrexham, but I'm just focusing on February the 13th when we play Bristol, and I reckon we could take Bristol again. Sorry, Annie.
I'm sure you could, yeah.
I just
he's not denying it. So,
but in all seriousness, this season, I think for Wrexham fans and sort of Wrexham fans through the Welcome to Wrexham documentary and how the club's been exposed to the world, are very surprised, because we thought we were just going to be languishing around 20th, 21st in the league, but to our great surprise, we're not. We're looking upwards instead of down, and it just goes to show that you can spend money, you can have world-renowned chairmen, backers, whatever. You can be called Disney, you can be called Hollywood FC, whatever you want. But the players have to perform consistently week in, week out, and I think we're now starting to do that. Especially, we're now starting to win. We've won 4 games in a row, which is a great surprise, because normally it goes win, draw, win, draw, loss, win, draw. But I think having that consistency will mean that we'll be able to look forward now instead of looking behind them, and we shouldn't be feared of relegation because we've hit 40 points, another 10 points, possibly 15 points, as you say, Michael, and Wrexham should be safe for another season in the Championship. Yeah, the January transfer window's here, but I don't know if we'll be spending much, because we spent so much in the summer. We spent nearly 40 million in the summer transfer window. I think the budget for January is 10 or 20 million with loan signings, and there's also talk about Paul Mullen maybe coming back to Wrexham
to then go on loan to Bristol City.
Well,
I'm so sorry. Just the 10 or 20 million.
Just
yeah,
10, 20 million.
exactly. That's the figures that's being branded about for this window.
I mean, Stefan, if you've got 10, 20 million, if you don't need Kiefer Moore, you're welcome to send him to Bristol City, or
no. He might stop scoring against us at that point.
I tell you what, because he's not getting a game, you're right. You can have Ryan Hardy, because I feel sorry for poor Ryan, because he just seems to be like injury cover for when somebody's injured, like your Matty James, or because Ryan Hardy plays more on the wing than he does through middle in Wrexham. Yeah, he looked good in pre-season, but I can't really comment on our Scottish striker because I've not really seen enough of him in a Wrexham shirt. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. And regardless of what happens from this point on, it's been a great season for Wrexham. There's no taking that away from the guys at the club. It's been a fantastic season, and I think we can push on now. But long term, and I've said that, and I'll say it again, do I continue to see Parky and Steve Parkin in their jobs? No. I mean, we've been great servants for the club, but surely if you want to push on, you need a manager that's going to be able to...
You need to have a dilemma of ruthlessness, don't you?
Yeah, to push and to go and to have Premier League experience.
Here's one for you, right? If you don't using Nathan Broadhead, can you please send it to Bristol City just so I can play this?
Please.
Dave, good
goodness sake. How many times have I got to tell you? Broadhead. 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 Oh, for goodness sake.
Well,
that's one of the best moments ever when I heard Nathan Broadhead called Broadband, and I'm still gutted to this day we didn't sign him when we could have done. So I wanted to use that as an intro. I really wanted to use that for content.
Unfortunately for you, Michael, my answer's no, because Nathan Broadhead should have scored again today on more than one occasion.
Yeah, well, clearly, if he should have scored on a few occasions and he isn't good enough, then he needs to go to Bristol City then. So therefore, you can sign somebody else with your 10-20 million budget.
Well, I told you, you can have Ryan Hardy, you can even have Welsh Deadpool, because it looks like even if Welsh Deadpool does come back to Wrexham,
back to Marvel again.
he's not in favour of the party. Apparently, they have had, let's just say, a fracas relationship behind the scenes, away from the cameras, away from all that sort of stuff. And apparently that's why he went on loan to Wigan. It wasn't just to get playtime, yeah, it was that. But it was also because he had a fractious relationship with the manager.
I still stand by. I think Annie will want better than Paul Mullen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's weird.
Well, if you're in the constraints of financial do that and PSR rules, then unfortunately, if we're giving you a gift, Annie,
can you imagine if he said to Annie, "Oh, by the way, Bristol City, you're going to sign her forward, but it's going to be Paul Mullen."
Take the gifts and get
I'd rather
yourself
not sign anyone, to be honest.
and get yourself through to me, then go again in the summer. But you never know.
Yeah,
but this is
we're digging a real big hole here. Just by
these gifts might just get you to the promised land.
I was gonna.
I mean, could you imagine that, Annie?
Bristol City beat Preston in the
Ryan Hardy, you're dissing Welsh Deadpool, and yet you could get to the Premier League with these guys.
Right, so what we're saying is that Bristol City beat Preston in the Championship playoff final, and Paul Mullen sets up Ryan Hardy to score the winner.
I'll take Ryan Hardy. I think Ryan Hardy's really good. I think he's been underutilized at Wrexham. I think he's a really good striker.
You should ask the question then, to be fair. If he's not playing, why not?
I was going to say, sorry, you go.
No, on you go. Because as much as it would pain me to lose anybody from the Wrexham squad, if I was going to lose, say, a player, it would be Ryan Hardy because he's not being utilised at all.
So you mean you'll be recalling Paul Mullen and he'll be third choice for you?
Yeah.
They're about 17 strikers, Michael. I think he'll be about 18 strikers.
Probably, yeah. Fair point. So go on, you were going to say, Annie.
I was going to say, there are a lot of players in that Wrexham team who I actually quite like as, just footballers. Nathan Broadhead. I love Matty James.
I love Matty James too. Funny that.
Bloody love Matty James. Nathan Broadhead, Matty James. Or who's the other one? Ben Sheaf. I think he's just class player.
Even though he didn't have the best game today, I still like Ben Sheaf.
Lewis O'Brien, I think, is just a quality player. I think Wrexham have actually got a really sort of good technical squad. And it's Sam Smith I really like as well. I think he's a really good forward. Scored a great goal at Blackburn. So, yeah, I think Wrexham are here to stay, I mean, we talked to a lot of conversations about Wrexham when they were in League One in particular. Of they were in a promotion race and it was like, they won't really stay there, will they? They can't really do it. And they got to a stage they were like, all right, beat Charlton and you're there. And it's like, how's that happened? And so yeah, I would not be surprised if they're in real conversation, because it's not just plucky old Wrexham who have come up from League One, haven't had a good start. They've got some serious star quality in their team, like proper, really good championship players. And obviously that's come as a result of spending a lot of money. But yeah, these guys are good.
You have to get the player though, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Recruitment's been brilliant.
O'Brien, Doyle, Broadhead, Moore, Ben Sheaf. Like, Like that's not a bad shopping list for a club.
Dom Hyam has been brilliant. Like, underrated.
Dom Hyam.
Brilliant.
I thought today, Dom just looked a bit out of sorts. I don't know if it's because he's played like the whole of the festive period, but I thought today was just a little bit edgy at the back today for me. If anybody was going to be a bomb scare today, it wasn't going to be Mr. Hot Potato, because he dealt with crosses and things very well. It was Dominic Hyam. But it just goes to show, if you defend well and attack when you get your chances, you're going to win games. I mean, I thought after we scored in the 47th, 48th minute, whenever it was, I thought Derby was going to throw the holy proverbial at us and just attack. But to my unwavering surprise and shock, we didn't. Now, I don't know if that was just because it was a combination of good / frantic defending at the back from Wrexham to clear every single ball, but I honestly thought we would have been under the cosh a lot more than we actually were today.
Here's a question for Stefan, if you don't mind then. So I asked Annie this question, I'll ask you the same thing.
Okay.
If there's one area you feel Wrexham need to strengthen too, let's say for a second, because you're 1 point, I think, off the playoffs? 2 points? Look, whether you expect to finish there is a different matter. But I think you've got the squad to mount a challenge for it. So, but where do you think Wrexham most need to strengthen if you had to name one position in this window?
Where? Definitely not forward. Their forward line is just
the 1,700 strikers you've already got.
Yeah, our forward line's okay. Our midfield, when he plays 5 across the midfield like he did today, that's fine. So if I said anywhere, my worry would be goalkeeper, because if a Congo gets injured, we don't really have another sort of standout goalkeeper, as it were. Yes, we've got Callum Burton. We did have Danny Ward for a spell, but I think because of the slots to fill within your squad, I think there's only like 25 slots available or something to register players for. And I think because Wrexham's got about 60, 70 odd players on the books, you couldn't register all the players for available slots. And they gave the second goalkeeper slot to Callum Burton. Now, if it was me, like I did on my EAFC 25, I would have gave it to Danny Ward purely because he's got Premier League experience with Leicester and all that jazz. He's got
don't mention Andy. Yeah,
I know.
He's also got international experience behind him with Wales. He's a good keeper, and I would have just give that to Danny Ward over Callum Burton. But I'm not the manager. I'm just a fan. Parky picks his squad.
That's fair enough.
But if there was a position to strengthen, I would say goalkeeper.
Well, here's one then, because I can think of a keeper who's got loads of championship experience, who's got some Premier League experience, who is on the books at a certain club that one of our teams supports, who is not playing very regularly, but he played a lot in their promotion season last season before Daniel Farker finally dropped him, and that was Ian Millier. Why don't you fancy him?
Listen. Let me just before you say anything, guys. Before you say anything, Stefan. Listen, I don't think Millier would come anywhere near to Wrexham. I think he'll probably go back to France. He's more likely because he's been literally moved to Celtic.
I'm more then from Stefan's point of view, going, is he going to want Millier there when he can drop claggers every other game?
You say that, and yes, I would take Millier in a heartbeat as even
Carl's looking like, no, Stefan, shut up, you won't.
What I would do in that instance is, if we got the chance to have Melee, I would switch them about. I would give Okonkwo a rest. I'd put Melee in as number 1, Okonkwo's number 2.
You're taking a massive risk.
You're taking a massive gamble on him, especially because of his errors. That's the problem.
No, because if you remember last season, when he became a free agent, guys, who did Wrexham try to sign? It was on Sky Sports News. When this person who played in the Premier League became a free agent, who did Wrexham try and sign? And he said he was very excited by the project, but he just wanted to play European football, like Europa League, Champions League. Who was it?
Christian Eriksen.
Exactly. So if we can go for a player of caliber like Christian Eriksen, we could go for Melee from...
Hold on.
Stefan. We're not saying it. No, trust me. I think Wrexham actually are very ambitious. I was saying Melia is a joke because Melia is a very big gamble and a risk in goal.
Thank you.
Would you want to have him in there?
Do you know what I had to go through the last season when he fucked us up with the title? Do you know how much?
I mean, if you just ask Carl how many points Melia cost Leeds last season, it was...
And the season before.
To be fair, I will give him this. You know the Sunderland 2-2 game? Obviously, Carl won't want to remember what happened at the end, but it's very weird because Melia at 1-0 made an outstanding save to prevent us from going 2-0 up, if my memory serves correctly. But it's in the same game where a ball's going straight at me, he goes, oh, shit, sorry.
Yeah.
And it ends up going into 2-2. It's one of the most laughable goalkeeping errors I've ever seen. Like, no, Stefan, I was saying that as a joke.
Yeah,
I was expecting you to go, I don't want Melier with a 10-foot barge pole.
No, I mean, I would give anybody a chance, and I know you were saying that as a joke, but another person I would give a chance to in goal, who's got lots of championship experience and a tiny bit of premiership experience. Burnley was Bailey Peacock Farrell. I'd give him a chance.
Listen, we what we about Peacock Farrell, and I'll tell you this as well. He was bitching because Bielsa did play him because he put the racist master King Casilla.
I'll take a serious suggestion right for a minute. What about Anthony Patterson, Stefan? Would you take him?
Yeah, I would.
Because I think he's someone who, obviously, again, it's one of those victims of circumstance. Well, I say victims, it's a bit harsh. But, like, he was one of the examples of circumstance where we probably didn't deem him good enough to come up with the Premier League. But Anthony Patterson, as I'm sure these other two will agree, is a solid top-end championship keeper, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he's any better than that, but I think he's definitely capable of
going
to a top-end job in the championship.
And so is Alex Palmer, but he went to Ipswich. He had the season there, and it's not worked out for him in the Premier League, but he seems to be doing okay back down in the Championship with the Tiger Boys. So yeah, I mean, dare I say it, if he was available, I know he's 40 now and he would never move again, but I would even take ex-Sunderland keeper.
If you're going to say Lee Camp here, we're going to have problems.
No. Craig Gordon.
He's not been playing much at Hearts, actually, to cut honest you guys.
Certainly, if you want to have him compete with the Concours, I don't think that's a bad shout. Personally,
I would actually like to see that.
You love to see that. So he could finish his career at Sunderland than Hearts.
Oh, let's be fair though. To be fair, right? Craig Gordon for Wrexham would be a considerably better shout than Ilan Melier.
Well, that's a fair
we've got 4 goalkeepers. One of them's injured, but if you want to take one of them,
and
does that include the starting goal? Does that include Max O'Leary?
No, Max can stay, but Joe Lumley's available.
I thought you'd say that.
Purely because I've done it. Purely because I got Wrexham in the Premier on EFC 25. Other football games are available, guys, but I play that one. I'm going to sign Craig Gordon for Wrexham and just see how that pans out. I think that could be an actual show.
How has this conversation turned into Craig Gordon?
I don't know. Don't
Probably
was-
because when we were talking about goalkeepers, because I asked Evan about what
Elan
goalkeepers.
Melier as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
it's
said-
not
I said
Elan
for- I
Melier,
said
yeah.
for- I said it for a joke, mainly just to fish and get Carl's reaction. Would go Elan Melier, and Carl's going like, "If you want to get promoted, you stay well clear of this guy."
Thank you. Yeah, you stay way clear of him. Listen,
Can I suggest
What Carl should be saying is going, "No, Stefan, take him. He's mint."
no. Do you know where he'll be better? And this is what I'd be thinking at Celtic with Wilfred Nancy. That's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this. So.
Well, to be fair, if Melly went to Celtic, that would definitely cause Nancy a job.
Well, that's
I mean,
fine.
if Melier wants to displace Nick Pope or Aaron Ramsdale at a certain club up the road, then I wouldn't complain at that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Robin Reef, say, Michael.
forgot about Nick
Aye,
Pope,
why not?
actually.
Stefan want Robin Roofs.
Oh, well, I would definitely take roofs.
I bet you would.
Of course you would.
That's fine. We'll sign Max O'Leary to replace him. It's all right.
20 million, please.
Roofs on
Take
fire.
the zero off that, and you got a deal.
What, 2 million? 2 million? You just want 2 million? Yeah.
Anyway,
2 million.
that is
Yeah,
the-
this
that
is
is
got-
the
yeah.
update
Do we
on
have one
Wrexham
street?
for
Do we have
this
one
week.
street where this does not descend into complete chaos at all?
I'll meet you in the middle at 80.
18,000 £18,000. You got a deal.
Yeah, tell you what,
18
guys,
Freddos.
Wrexham Stadium as well.
Caramel or normal chocolate.
Wrexham Stadium's
Don't care.
Sorry about that. This is
to 7,500 capacity for a new cop stand. So that's going to increase the fan base as well at the cop. There's going to be an extra 7,000 seats.
Fair enough.
Oh,
fair.
wait.
By the way, to anyone who's still
Allegedly.
watching, to anyone who's
Why?
still watching now, well done to you.
Well
Right.
done. I know.
Yeah,
I'll give you.
you
Really well
guys.
done to you.
Turn it off. This is good. This is not good. We're not going to talk about anything productive for the rest of the show. Turn it off.
No, turn it off. Yeah. Let's,
I think we're done anyway because he's just brought the table up.
you're damn right. You're damn right. We're done. Yeah, you're damn right.
Don't turn it
Absolutely.
off. Don't turn it off right now. Turn it off in like a few minutes when we're done.
Oh my God.
We'll
Right.
talk
let's
about
go.
Bristol City signing Josh Sargent on loan from Norwich.
Ooh,
Why?
that wouldn't be a bad shout actually, Mikey.
I was
That's
joking.
good.
He's
He's loaned to
joking.
Norwich.
He's joking.
I know you were joking, but that's not actually genuinely. That's not a bad
You're not
shout.
helping Andy's case here.
I mean,
know
if you
who
want
might
to be
be
literal
available?
here, right, hang on. If you want to be literal, who's hiring the table at the minute?
Wrexham.
Oh, Bristol City and Norwich, man.
Thanks.
Bristol City are, but Wrexham's above them.
By 1 point. But still, you're right. They are above
It's
them.
still
Yeah.
good. I'll take that.
Do you know
Right,
who might be
can I-
available?
Yeah, can I finish up reading off of the table, please, before we all go?
No, can I just say?
Yeah.
Cameron Archer, watch out, might be available.
Point actually.
Tell you what, that'd be a hell of a signing. If you,
Yeah,
I
it
can't
would
tell
be,
if you're being
yeah.
serious or not, but if you are,
No,
then
no,
that's-
not for us, obviously, because we can't afford to sign
I mean, who,
Kitman, let alone
Whoever
Cameron
would
Archer.
get him, by the way,
Whoever
very
he
good
was-
shout. Whoever
Yeah.
would get him.
whoever he's going to go to, that's going to be a great signing. Whoever Joe Peru's going to go to is going to be a great signing. To be
Well,
honest.
Well, we
Well,
shall see. Maybe you
we'll
get Joe
see.
Peru and Elan Melier in a double deal. You get to get Melier for the price of Joe Peru.
right.
Let's get Melier. Go on, what's the table?
Yeah, let's get for this bloody damn table, man. Right. Over the Coventry, with the team the top lost. Have now got back up to second after the Ipswich game was postponed. Preston and Millwall are up there in the top 5-6 alongside with Watford. Hull are just a point behind them, just a goal difference behind. Sorry, with Stoke and Wrexham getting the wins over the weekend and now a point behind them as well. Bristol City now down in 10th, and at the bottom of the table, Sheffield Wednesday are still on -7. We're still as well with Oxford United and Norwich City still in the bottom 3 after because of the Portsmouth game that was postponed as well. Blackburn and Charlton, the other teams down in the bottom 6, earn a draw against each other. Sheffield United was the only team in the bottom half of the table to win over this weekend as well. So, yes, there we go. We got through the bloody table finally. That was a long ass.
Might be Liam Manning's Oxford United soon.
Yes, that is true because it was a couple days ago it was going to be Michael Beale, but looks like Manning is
could be. I think there's a rumor going around. It could be Manning or Bloomfield. Yeah,
yeah.
Can I just say either one of those options, especially their Manning, would be a better option than Michael fucking Beale any day of the week.
Yeah. But yeah, Matt Bloomfield would be an interesting one, I think.
I wonder why you don't like Michael Beale so much, Mike. I wonder why.
Well, actually, I was going to mention the Newcastle Cup game, but that's not fair to put any of that on him. No. He didn't have anything to do with that. But yeah, to be fair, I will say one thing about Michael Beale. I do actually genuinely hope his niece is recovering, because you remember when we played 2 years ago, just under, when we played Plymouth, there was a pause on Michael Beale's. I think niece was suffering some sort of illness. Thankfully, I don't think it was terminal. I really hope it wasn't. But I think apparently she's hoping that she's recovering. So I actually don't mind Michael Beale as an individual, but I'm just thinking, yeah, if Oxford want anything about them, you don't go near Beale. No. Near Beale at all.
Liam Manning, though. And also, if he is hired, his first game, well, of course it would be against us.
So hang on, are you telling me the Liam Manning derby is reignited?
Yeah, genuinely the whole bloody turnaround, the complete U-turn. It would honestly, oh my god. If you'd asked me at the end of the playoff semi-final second leg, we'll be playing Oxford away. Who will be managing? Liam Manning will be managing one of us. Who will it be? Not Oxford. What? Yeah, craziness if that happened. But that would be pure chaos, and I am here for it.
What would you prefer? Who would you prefer to go to Oxford? Liam Manning or Nigel Pearson?
Oh, I'd prefer Pearson. No, yeah, I prefer Pearson to go there. I quite like Nigel Pearson. He's all right.
Fair.
Is it because then you don't instantly want them to go down? Whereas Liam Manning goes back down, there you just go, Liam Manning derby, get lost, get back to League One, go back to playing, go back to playing bloody Rotherham United. Go back to playing them.
Rotherham might be going down.
Nigel Pearson's management style. I liked him when he was at Leicester, when he brought them up.
Is this for his ostrich comment?
No.
Well, it
was fun. I do actually agree with Stefan. I think he's not a bad head coach at Championship level now, probably. But he's just entertaining, isn't he?
He's. I think he's still recovering from his own health problems. So,
which is more important, to be fair.
Yeah, obviously. He once said something about this close to resigning after we lost the game at home because of the referees, and he's like, in his own, you know, in his Nigel Pearson voice, going, I thought about quitting purely because of the refs of the division.
Thought about quitting because the Championship referees are.
Can you blame him? Absolutely not.
No, well, if any of you watch my content on my own channel, you know how many times I've gone on about the referees last season. So I'm like, they are terrible. Well, I mean, just to end it, I mean, I suppose it's been a while since we've had Lee Johnson ball in the EFL. So, you know,
bring back
Lee Johnson to Oxford.
No. If you want to survive in the league, don't hire Lee Johnson.
But Stefan, you don't want to hear about position of maximum opportunity for
no, because
me and Annie had to hear those phrases. Also, Levy, by the way, you've just been battered 4-0 at Portsmouth. Well, I think our attacking XG philosophy promo stuff was really, really.
When we up at Hibs. Yeah, he's a nice guy to chat to and all that.
No, he seems a lovely lad, but his defensive coping ability is non-existent.
His coaching abilities, you guys in particular ran rings round us. Let's be honest, Carl. You ran rings round us under Lee Johnson.
We knew how shit it was, and that's why we brought him in.
Remember, Lee Johnson
was rotten.
How has this conversation turned into Lee Johnson chat?
No.
Because I am on this stream. That's how it's descended into that.
There was this moment.
He could not manage his way out of a wet paper bag. Was shut, and he out of it.
There was one moment, I think it was in his last season here, and just randomly, he was asked about a player in an interview, and he said, "Oh yeah, he did really well, etc., etc., but not as good as Sex." And I just did like a weird eyebrow.
What?
Like a weird eyebrow thing.
The thing is, we're getting at least 10 views of people watching it. So
to be fair, though, I think the comment he made when he was with us, I think Annie would love, is when we beat Bristol Rovers in the lockdown season, and the Sharks comment, and he was just, you know, Stefan, as you know yourself, Lee. To be fair, when with us, when it clicked, Lee Johnson's football was actually really good to watch.
Really
The
good, isn't
only
it?
one problem is you're either winning 4-0 or you're losing 6-0. There's no
Yeah.
real...
Streaky
Yeah,
Luke.
so it was...
I mean,
I remember the last game he was at, I was at Bolton in League One, and we were 4-0 down by about 50 minutes. I was going,
well,
these are 15th in League One. How the hell are we 4-0 down to these? Right, I'm gone. Bye-bye.
Well,
We lost 6-0, the worst defeat in our history. Well done,
I
peak
tell you
LJ.
what it was for us, Michael, was after the first couple of months of him being in charge, after the first 6 months, fans were calling for his head. Then we had a double header in the Europa League against Aston Villa. Now, let's be honest.
Oh, I know where this is going. I remember the scores.
Hibs are not going to be Aston Villa, granted, but we got beat 5-0 in the first leg, a hat-trick from Watkins and co. And but after that game, he was dismissed straight after the game. No questions asked. When the manager we've got now, David Gray, was an interim charge for the second leg against Villa. We were 5-0 down. We weren't going to do anything. And David Gray's attitude was, we're going to go and give him a game. We're going to go and beat Villa. And I'm thinking,
Yeah, you think, right, Lee, what do you mean by a game? Do you mean competitive? Do you mean competitive, or do you mean a great game for them to score as many past us as possible?
well,
What do you define as a game? Do I've just realised, you know what would be brilliant, just to end this before we do actually go, Imagine if you merge these two together. Imagine a Lee Johnson team with Melier in goal.
Good grief. Oh,
Children, listen. Children.
He's like, children, right, listen, shut up, don't give me nightmares, let's end this now and go home.
Yeah, let's
Let's end this now.
We can carry this conversation in the background if we want to.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's just end
Unless
this.
you want to start a Patreon and Championship Panel Review
Well,
extra.
No, I'm going to watch some NFL after this with a friend and watch the stream. So you guys can continue this wherever you want.
That's fine. Go for it.
I tell you, what a way to kick off 2026, guys, with the
Probably ended talking about Lee Johnson.
Oh my god, yeah.
Getting there. Reviewing a 2-0 defeat at home to Preston. Cavan.
Yeah.
Cavan.
Oh my god. You guys,
Thanks
super.
everyone who's
I don't know
watched.
how. Yeah. Every week I'll have to deal with your asses a lot now going forward with this for the season. So, oh god,
Yeah,
right.
We'll see you in probably 2 weeks, because next weekend's FA Cup third round, isn't it?
That's a good thing we're off for 2 weeks. Yeah.
So next week we'll continue to talk about Lee Johnson having Nina Melier as his goalkeeper.
If you lot continue that discussion again after 2 weeks, I'm not coming on. I'm continue.
Well, it's a good thing we'll be off for 2 weeks because a lot of the clubs will have made, well, the majority of their signings by then. So
yeah,
here's hoping.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping.
Yeah, totally.
He's hoping. Right, absolutely.
Sign someone.
Thank
And we'll
everyone.
see if Manchester's going to have a social life, or he's going to be even more pissed after Coventry play Leicester.
I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares for one or the other.
No.
Exactly. Right. Thank you for everyone for watching us as well. Appreciate that. Like I said, we'll be back on in 2 weeks' time because due to the FA Cup. So, but myself, Stefan, and Reese will be back on with the Saturday show next Saturday at 11:30 as well. I don't know if me and Doug will do the 20 podcast because we've got such games going in with the midweek games. So I think that's going to be impossible. It might be probably around probably after next week, the FA Cup, we'll get back onto it as well. So, yes, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. It's a goodbye from myself, Stefan, and Michael, and Annie. We'll see you guys in a fortnight's time. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Take care.